Shalom.
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 Ashar.
Ashar.
Chaanakah.
Chaanakah.
Happy Hanukkah closing 2022. Praises to Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahushua. All right, so tonight is the closing of the Chaanakah, the Hanukkah, 8th day, and we're just going to get into some more of the history, touch on a few things that we went over last week, reiterate, and a few other key points concerning this great historical day of our great forefathers, the Maccabees, retrieving the temple from the Greeks, defeating, whooping the hell out of Esau, and taking back the temple to dedicate it or rededicate it to the Most High, just like Solomon did when he built the temple. Okay? All right, so we're going to get right into it. Let's go to 1 Maccabees 1 and 1. We're going to start in Maccabees tonight. Last week we started with 1 Maccabees 4. Tonight we're going to start with 1 Maccabees 1 and 1. Just to give you a little bit of brief history on the Feast of Dedication of the Chaanakah, to let you know what this great day is about. Everybody on the live, can y'all hear me nice and clear? If y'all can hear me, give me a con 777. All right, give me a con 777 if y'all can hear me. Clear. Sometimes I complain about the volume. He's just talking about it, right? You pay all this damn money for these iPhones. Damn it, they better film like 4K.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they film up to 8K now.
They better film at 8K now. All right, so Shalom once again. Shalom.
All
right. So let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1. So again, the Hanukkah or the Chaanakah is our great feast day where we celebrate, there's nothing wrong with celebrating defeating our enemies. Okay? Before we get that, let's go to Exodus 15 and 3. All right, Exodus 15 and 3. There's nothing wrong with celebrating warfare. Right? Warfare is used to defend your nation. Right? It's used to protect your nation. It's used to conquer other evil nations.
Yes. That
the Most High wants you to conquer. Okay?
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with celebrating, the destruction of your enemy. All right? This is not a non-violent struggle like Martin Luther King. God damn it. Right? Right?
That's right.
This is not a non-violent struggle. Esau, the so-called white man, he must fall by violence. As is prophesied in the scriptures. Okay? All right, let's go to Exodus 15 and 3. When everybody have it, say Khan. All right, give me a nice strong reader. Exodus 15 and 3.
The book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
Right, the Lord, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua, is a man or men of war. Go ahead.
Yahweh is his name.
Right, the Lord is his name. Okay? Right, read on.
Verse 4. Pharaoh's chariots and his hosts have he cast into the sea.
Right, so when Israel went through the Red Sea as on dry land, and then the Egyptians went through and they were drowned, that was an act of war. The Most High used the water as warfare. Okay? Right, go ahead.
His chosen captains,
the captains of Pharaoh's army, are the ones that pursued Israel through the Red Sea. Go ahead.
Also are drowned in the Red Sea.
The Lord said his captains are also drowned in the Red Sea. Read on.
The depths have covered them.
Oh, that's it on that. Go ahead. So drop that. Go to Revelation 18:21 now. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 21. Revelation 18:21. Trying to clear up my background a little bit. All right, so there's nothing wrong with celebrating warfare.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with celebrating the defeat of your enemies. Okay? Right, go to Revelation 18 and 21. Would everybody have it? Say Khan? Right. Revelation 18:21. Somebody read that for me. Nice and clear.
And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone.
Go ahead.
And cast it into the sea.
Go ahead.
saying thus with violence.
No, by holding hands.
Thus with violence.
By voting.
Thus with violence.
How?
Thus with violence.
Thus with violence. Come on.
Shall that great city Babylon.
What is the great city Babylon?
America.
Don't yell out. Yahweh. America. That's what John is prophesying about in Revelation 18. Go ahead. Right, go ahead.
That great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all.
Right, because America was built on violence. Okay? Right? Get that in Obadiah 10 real quick. We just going to open up. We just open it up with showing the spirit of warfare is in the Bible. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating warfare.
Right.
Okay? Right? The nations, they conquered us through war. Right? The so-called white man, he didn't come to America and tell the Native American Indians, hey man, let me just get this land and we'll negotiate a deal later. No. He came over here first and foremost with his slick conniving ways and got Gad to trust him.
Right.
And then the first chance he got, man, he slaughtered Gad off and took this land from him. Okay? And he celebrated. What is the celebration he have? Thanksgiving. Okay? So we are celebrating the slaughtering off of these Greeks and taking back the temple.
Right.
And we're giving thanks during the Feast of Dedication. Okay?
Right.
Read that, King. Obadiah 10.
The book of Obadiah, verse 10.
Go ahead.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
For what?
Thy violence.
For Esau's violence.
Yeah.
Right? Read it again.
For thy violence.
For thy violence. Go ahead.
Against thy brother Jacob.
Against thy brother Jacob. Come on.
Shame. Shame shall cover thee.
Shame is going to cover you. Right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt be cut forever.
Thou shalt what?
Cut forever.
Thou shalt be cut
off
forever. Right? For their violence against their brother Jacob. Right? So Galatians 6 and 7, they're going to reap what they sow. We don't have to get it. But the Lord said for their violence, Obadiah 10 links up with Revelation 18:21. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame is going to cover you. And you're going to be cut off forever. Why is Esau going to be cut off forever? Because they're going to be exterminated out of the earth, pursuant to verse 18 of Obadiah. All right, Obadiah 1 and 10 links with Revelation 18:21. And also the 18th verse in Obadiah, Esau going to be cut off forever. Go back to Revelation 18 and 21.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence.
The same way that you see that angel casting that millstone into the sea. Go ahead.
Thus with violence.
Thus with violence. Go ahead.
Shall that great city, Babylon.
That great city, America, Babylon. Go ahead.
Be thrown down.
Read.
And shall be found no more at all.
Right. America's going to be destroyed, never to be inhabited again. Right. And all of existence, all of time. This time, Israel going to rule forever and ever. Amen. Okay? Right. Go to Jeremiah 28 and 8 from there. Show you that the scriptures, we just warming it up to show you the scriptures speak about warfare and you can celebrate warfare. Okay? Right? So that's what we're celebrating during this Feast of Dedication. We're celebrating mainly getting the temple back and being able to worship and serve the Most High back in righteousness. Okay? But the main thing is what? The enemy wasn't just giving us the temple back. We had to fight for it. Okay? We had to defeat them Greeks. We had to kill sellout Israelites. All that. Okay? Right, read that, King.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8.
Go ahead.
The prophets that had been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
And the prophets prophesied. They said, they foretold what the Most High told them to foretell. All right, it said the prophets that prophesied before me. Prophesied of what?
Both against many countries.
They have prophesied against many countries. So when we go out there and say, America, the Lord is going to judge you, that's what the ancient prophets did. Right, go ahead.
And against great kingdoms.
Isn't America a great kingdom?
Yeah.
Everybody running around, doing their last minute Christmas shopping. Right, Esau talking about inflation and man, they making billions of dollars, man. Like they do every year.
Right.
Like they do every year. Right? Why? Because that's what this is, a capitalist society.
Right.
But it's also considered a great kingdom because it's Esau's kingdom, his rulership, his power. Right? He's in power and authority right now. This when he sit back and drink his eggnog in front of the fireplace, and he taps on his laptop, and his super laptop that probably nobody in the public have, and he just look at all the money he made, right? And he says, "Hey, it's going to be a great year, George." You know what I'm saying? Look how much we made. It's going to be a great year. That's when they have their real Christmas. The first and second and third week of January. That's when they having their Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because they sitting by the fireplace sipping some 100-old scotch.
That's their juice.
100-year-old scotch, right? With a bare head on the wall, right? And saying it's going to be a good year. They're looking at all that money they made. God, that's when they had their Christmas. They don't care about no December 25th. They said, man, we looking at all that money we made at the first 3-4 weeks, the first month. Let's say the whole month of January.
The great cha-ching.
Right, we're looking at that great cha-ching, man, like that sound Cash App makes. You know what I'm saying? That's their Christmas and New Year and everything else. Right, go ahead.
Against great kingdoms.
Come on.
Of war.
Of what?
Of war.
Of war. So the scriptures speak about war. You can be celebratory when it comes to war, especially war and righteousness. Okay? Right, come on.
And of evil.
And what?
And of evil.
And of evil, go ahead.
And of pestilence.
And of pestilence, right? Come on.
The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord had truly sent them.
Right, go ahead.
Then Hananiah the prophet.
That's it on that, right? So the scriptures tell you about warfare. Go to Revelation 19. Revelation 19. We're just getting a few of these precepts showing you war can be celebrated according to the scriptures. All right. Revelation 19. And let me see what I want. 11.
11.
Revelation 19 and 11.
The book of Revelations, chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
This is H.O.I that John is seeing, of course. Come on.
And in righteousness.
And he's seen him in his second coming, and he said, and in righteousness, come on.
He doth judge.
He doth what?
Doth judge.
H.O.I is coming back in righteousness to judge. Come on.
And make war.
And to make war. So you can celebrate war according to the scriptures. In righteousness. So that's what we're celebrating during the time of the Maccabees. Okay? Right, go to, it said in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. Okay? Right, he's coming back for warfare. H.O.I not coming back to play games.
Not Jesus.
Right, yeah.
He loves
Not my Jesus, right? Not my Lord.
He
Not
loves
my sweet
everybody.
Lord. Right?
God is love.
Let me see what I want. Go to 1 Maccabees 2:49.
First Maccabees.
What? 1 Maccabees 2 and 49.
Oh, 49.
Yeah, we still just dealing with the spirit of warfare in the scriptures. How war is, you can celebrate war according to the scriptures. All right, shalom, everybody. Shalom, brother Choni in the building. Shalom, Adam, Shem. Shalom, everybody that's coming in. Shalom. Shalom, Sister Taylor. Shalom, Malak. Malak Yahweh in the building.
Yeah, I got that book. It's so
All
small.
right. South is in the building. The Nola. Shalom, family. Let's go to 1 Maccabees 2:49.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2, verse 49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation.
Come on.
Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous of the Lord, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
Do what?
Give the lives for the covenant of your fathers.
So before Matthias died, he said, listen, he said, fight and give your lives for the laws of the Most High. What he was telling them to do, man, fight to the death. If you got to go to warfare against these Greeks, go to warfare against them to the death. All right, jump down to 62.
Verse
61, Salakia.
61. Verse 61. And thus consider ye...
Now, Salakia, from 51 to 60, y'all can read on your own. It gives all the examples of our different forefathers. When they fought and stood up for the words of the Most High always defended them. Okay? Right? Read on.
Verse 61. And thus consider ye throughout all ages.
He said, look, go back to the beginning. From Abraham up till now. Go all the way back. Go ahead.
That none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Whoever put their trust in the Most High, they was never overcome. Unless it was a time frame. Like we put our trust in the Most High now, but we're going to overcome Esau in the future because it's not time for Esau kingdom to fall yet. Unfortunately. But we got to be patient and wait on the Most High. Right, come on.
Verse 62. Fear not, then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms.
Meaning sinful men going to die. They're going to be put to death. Right, go ahead.
Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing.
Right, and that's what's going to happen to Esau. Esau is going to be like nothing. He's going to be turned into the dust. Right, it tells you that in Obadiah. There shall be none remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. Right, go ahead. And this is Salakia. This is also Matthias speaking about how when the Most High put an evil man to death, it's as if that man never existed. Okay? All right, go ahead.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant.
Be brave, go ahead.
And show yourselves men in the behalf of the Lord.
Meaning fight, go to war for the law. Stand up for the law. Right, come on.
For by it shall ye obtain glory.
You're going to obtain glory by going to war for the law. Go ahead.
Verse 65. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him away.
Always.
Always.
Go ahead.
Always. He shall be a father unto you.
Right, so he says Simon is going to be like your counselor, right? Go ahead.
As for Judas Maccabees.
He said, as for Judas Maccabees, go ahead.
He had been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
See that he said, let him be your captain and let him be the leader in the charge of war against the enemy. Okay? So the spirit of warfare is all throughout this book. Go ahead.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
Meaning fight for your people. And that's what our people are not doing now. All right? They setting up Tory Lanez to get framed for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Right? That whole story earlier. And I didn't know Tory Lanez was speaking out against the industry. Right? And I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was speaking out heavy against the industry. Yeah. And they saying that they set him up. And now because they saying, is a lie, he didn't shoot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot, or they framing him. But now I was looking at a few videos today. He was really speaking against the industry, man, because he went independent and he started blasting them. You know what I'm saying? So they came for him, man. You heard a lot of the people saying it's a setup. His father, you seen his father spaz out in front of the court. His father spazzed out in front of the court. Yeah, man. So this is a unjust society, man. So we have to avenge the wrongs of our people. When we go out there and teach, we're going to spiritual warfare. We are speaking. We're going to war, by teaching. Physical war, that's going to come when the Most High give us the power. But right now, we're going to spiritual war we're speaking up for the wrongs that's being done to our people, because nobody's really speaking out about it. So we are avenging our people by saying, look, we at least going to say something about the injustice and how it applies to the scripture and what the Most High told us to come out of this. So that's what we do when we go out and drop the word. We are avenging the wrongs of our people verbally. Now, when the Most High give us the power, we'll be able to do it physically. Okay? You got it?
They said they fight. What's nigga here on the sign with Rock Nation?
Yeah, he didn't want to sign with Rock Nation. He wanted to go independent.
Nation, so
Yeah, he wanted to go independent. Yeah. And he was talking about how they tried to make him a homo and everything.
Yeah.
He was going in. Yeah, he was going in. Huh? Yeah, he was going in.
Yeah.
And just the industry in general. Just the industry in general. Yeah, of course, Rock Nation too. You know what I'm saying? You're not. That's why they locked up Little Kim's ex. His name was World. He was a dude. He was a gangster dude. He was from the Lafayette Gardens, LG, in Bed-Stuy, New York, where Big Daddy Kane is from. Right? He was a gangster dude. He turned Muslim. He started getting conscious, but he was Little Kim's dude. He did an interview with Wendy Williams exposing the whole industry. Like back in, I think, like 05. And he was saying, yes, he said, the way they're getting the rappers now is through homosexuality. You know what they did to him? They framed him for a murder. He claimed he didn't do the murder. They said the dude was a street dude, but he had to start changing his life around. He got into Islam and got to change his life around. His name was World, you know what I'm saying? But he was going in, he said all the rappers, all the top rappers, if you're a top rapper, they getting them with the homosexuality. And that's what Tory Lanez said. He said they want to make me gay. And he's like, I'm not going for that. He said they tried to break me, man. I was like, nah, I would never sell my soul. So see, a lot of times what happened, they don't get you right away. They let you get in, they let you get a little bit of money and riches, and they let you taste that fame. That's what happened with Coolio. Same thing with Coolio was like, I would never sell my soul. He said he had other artists coming to him, like, yo, why don't you do this? And that's going to take your career to the next level. And Coolio was like, I don't get down like that, dude. And Coolio said, listen, I have enough talent. Well, I don't have to do that to make money. Look where I'm at now. Why do I got to do that to take it to the next level? He's like, I'm already selling hundreds of millions of records. You know what I'm saying? That Gangsta Paradise was all over the earth. So he was like, he said he would have other artists at the podcast that he was cool with. Yo, why don't you do this, man? Tell you like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, they would never sell. I'd never sell my soul. He goes to a friend's house, have a mystery heart attack. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, they say Tory Lanez, he got framed. He didn't really shoot Megan Thee Stallion. Whatever, I don't know. I wasn't there. But they saying they framing a man, setting him up. That's why his pops was so mad, because his pops, that's his son. He's like, I know what went on. Y'all framed my son. I've been there through the whole process. Y'all framed.
Oh, woo! Yes! 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 What? Yes, nigga. Yes, I know you see it. Yes. Y'all gotta understand what's going on right now. If you don't understand it, you don't understand it. That's cool. It's not on me. It's not on me. At the start of this, I told you, I'm not gonna beg you to make this fucking money. Yes, nigga. You know what's crazy? I sat there, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I sat there and I wondered for a long time, yo, how am I get back, bro? How am I get back right? They took every single avenue away from me. They took the playlisting away from me. They took every single thing they could take away from me. And you know what I said, bro? I sat there. I said, you know what? This isn't on me. This isn't a me thing no more. This isn't a Tory versus the world. This isn't that. You know what I did? I immediately went to praying. I immediately went to straight praying. The first thing I prayed, and I said, God, show me a way. Show me a way. Just show me how I can get through here. Show me a way. Show me something that's different. Show me when the world is standing against me, show me a different way. And I prayed, I kept praying. And God told me he was going to bless me 1,000 times over. To the point one day I'm praying one day, my nigga. And one day I'm all praying and it gets to this standpoint where I'm like, yo, I'll just start, it's like God just starts speaking through me and he's telling me, and I'm praying with my man man E, and I'm like, and God's speaking through me. He's just like, y'all are about to step into something that you can't even fathom the blessings of. Like, you can't even fathom what this is about to be. You can't fathom what this is. And at the time I didn't understand it because, you know, they was blocking me in every kind of way. And for a second I said, I'm not gonna question it. I'm just have my faith and I'm gonna keep going. You know what I'm saying? And every time they try to stop me, I just kept praying. I just kept going. Y'all not understanding what's going on. Let me fully explain this to you. I told y'all, $1 for the NFTs, right? I sold these shits to my fans for $1. People came, some people bought 20, some people bought 5, some people bought 60. It doesn't matter how much you bought. It was only $1. You spent $60, you bought 60. I need y'all to understand. One of those copies right now is going for 50,000, 60,000, 60,000. Yo, my nigga, and these are sold. They're sold. Go look at the list right now and see how small the sellers list is getting. Y'all don't understand what the fuck is going on? Y'all don't understand I just cracked the fucking industry? Y'all don't understand I just cracked this shit? I just cracked this whole shit. It's cracked. It's over. I cracked the whole shit. It's over. It's over. No more middleman. All y'all artists out there, fuck your label. Fuck the nigga that's telling you, yo, you gotta wait for this day on Spotify and on this. Fuck that. Nigga, it's over. Y'all gonna get paid, and your fans gonna get paid, and they gonna keep coming to you. Why? Because y'all making money together. This the digital trap house. Welcome, niggas. You're fucking welcome. We here. We here. You understand why I'm going so crazy? I can't believe I did this shit my fucking self. This may not make sense to niggas like y'all. Some of y'all niggas, it hasn't registered yet. It hasn't got there yet. It hasn't got there. Y'all niggas like, yo, why is he screaming? Come on. Understand. Look into it. Do your research, nigga. This is revolutionary, nigga. This is history in the fucking making. It's niggas right now. I think the lowest copy right now is going for 30,000. The lowest you can sell it for. Imagine a nigga who bought 5. Imagine a nigga who spent $5. Imagine a nigga who really spent $5, my nigga. He can make 500,000 selling them bitches for 100,000 right now, and niggas are buying it, nigga. Have you niggas ever sold an album for 100,000? Yo,
And people not taking, they speaking out. You know what I'm saying?
But in my humble opinion, the lesson should be not to be at those parties where you can be set up.
Right. Well, see, you know what it is? These dudes, man, they want to make it. They want that money. They want that lifestyle. That temptation is there. Because there's a lot of people that could have been in the truth. But they chose to go after the fame. Mm-hmm. They chose to go after the record deal. The elders should tell us all the time. They see people in, that brother used to be in the school, but he got a movie deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That temptation is too high. And they want that money and fame and, you know what I'm saying? So they give in to that. But some of them, not all of them, some of them, they just go all the way. But then some of them be like, nah, yo, hold up, son. I don't, what Tupac say? I don't get down like that. Right? When Quincy Jones asked him, you know what I'm saying? You know when Quincy asked him, yo, I don't get down like that, Quincy. Hold up. And you see what happened to Tupac. Yeah. That was probably one of the many reasons. Right. That probably one of the many reasons because they don't like that rejection either. Right? Yeah, Sister Amin. Yeah, he was independent. I was as I was getting ready today, I was checking out some of the videos on Tory Lanez. He was like your guy said, he wouldn't sign with Rock Nation. And then he went independent. When he went independent, he started exposing everybody. Like J. Cole. Mm-hmm. Remember J. Cole? Remember J. Cole, he wouldn't go but so far with Jay-Z. Right. Yeah. But see, J. Cole, he didn't go as hard. Tory Lanez was going in. He's like, you trying to make me a homo? I don't sell my soul for nobody yet. Yeah, see, J. Cole, he kind of kept it conscious but cool. He still came with his conscious rap. Then he had the little street stuff. He didn't go so hard. He just was like, yo, I can do this independent. I don't need Rockefeller. I'm not trying to deal with that stuff with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times they coming for you, man, when you come against them. But if all the artists did that, it would be a damn civil war in the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them, they going to stay in order. They're not going Making them they scared to lose everything they got. Bring it out, Rob.
Yeah, kind of. Also, Professor Griff brought it out. He was in the bookstore saying everything that goes in the industry. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Griff from Public Enemy. They tried
Yeah.
to blow up his house.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta. Then one of the Tupac's artists from the Outlaws. You know, Tupac had that group called the Outlaws. He a straight Muslim, like I said. He saw so much in the industry. They trying to turn him out. He said demons was coming after him, and he had Islam now. It scared him so bad he went to Islam.
He went to Islam. Yeah. It's not a joke, man. It's not a joke, man. But you know that they speaking out, and the Most High gonna let them floodgates open. And like I said, it's gonna be like a civil war in that entertainment industry, man, because people gonna get fed up. And Tory Lanez, it looked like the brother just got fed up. You know what I'm saying? Like he went independent, just started exposing everything. You know what I'm saying? Man was just like a nutcase. He was doing all kinds of freestyle.
One of the ones responsible, he had a magazine financed by Warner Brothers and the rest of them. He set up sex rings in Hollywood. And the people that he brought in, if y'all tell me if I'm lying, Quincy Jones brought in Fresh Prince. And his first movie was what? 6 Degrees of Separation. Fucking some dude in the ass on a movie. Am I right or wrong? He brought in Queen Latifah.
Set it off.
Queen Latifah set it off, licking and kissing on women. Are you following me? Yes. Kevin Campbell. You little sweet ass up and down Hollywood Boulevard. Thank you. See, y'all making me forget who's the other people that he brought in. He's working with the Barge family, and last but not least, when Tupac came to Hollywood, it was the homosexual ritual. This is where the homosexuals came out against it, but I didn't mind. I wasn't talking about homosexuals. I'm saying there's a homosexual ritual that they go through in the Illuminati secret societies. And it is. In Skull and Bones, they're made to lay in a coffin and masturbate and tell all their sexual secrets. So when I mentioned that about it marrying itself on to hip-hop, they said, well, can you prove it? Yeah. Go back and go online and read where Tupac said he was asked by Quincy Jones to fuck him in the ass. When Tupac said no, that's when Tupac was marked for death. Why? Because Tupac was engaged to Quincy Jones's daughter. Quincy Jones's daughter was best friend was Aaliyah. Aaliyah was engaged to Dame Dash. Now if y'all follow these people back, all of them either died or was brought to ruin. Dame Dash broke, he had to go back to Jay-Z. Tupac dead, Aaliyah dead. Now listen, those of y'all that know history, how many people can we name right now that died in the same way Aaliyah died? On a plane crash on the side of a mountain, which they control by remote control. You've heard of drone airplanes, right or wrong? Ron Brown died the same way. Mickey Leland, General Torrijos from Panama. All of these people died. That's an old CIA trick. So we shouldn't fall for that. But why did they want Aaliyah out of the picture? We have to understand it. In the last movie, the movie that Aaliyah did was Queen of the Damned, where these people were eating her. Are you following me? Simulating eating her. And this is exactly what I said in some of my DVDs that I was selling. I said, these people match our frequency and they can't live without us. Some marry us, some have children by us. And this is how they are. They gotta attach themselves to our frequency because they can't live without us. Are you following me? So then I started talking about all the men that go into Hollywood that have to put on a dress. That's right. And this is real. So I'm saying, well, they were asking me, well, why are you talking about this in this matter? I said, because it's a ritual that they have to go through. That's right. That's right. And I told them the one that we should be applauding is Dave Chappelle. He gave them their money back and told them to go to hell. I'm not putting on no dress. Are you following me? Now we need to question Dave Chappelle on this ritual. He said when he went back to his trailer, the dress was already there. And they had 2 scripts already written. So when he turned down the first script, they already had the next one written for him. Are you following me? So this is a ritual. And I talked about the effeminization of the African male. Absolutely. I talked about how the Committee 300 sit in smoke-filled back rooms and they come up with these trends. Now look at the trend that we went through back in the day. You remember the brothers used to wear the white tees? They made easy targets. So let's speed that up now. What's the trend now? Earrings, skinny jeans, mohawk haircuts, which look like pubic hair. Are you following me? right? And what they did was marry the criminal culture in jail onto the street culture and made it part of hip hop. So now homosexuality is on the rise, and they made the new cleavage became the butt crack. Are you following me? So now, I don't know if y'all gonna go for this one, but now, probably for the last, what, 8 years, 10 years, Viagra's been on the market. Cialis and all these other blue pills. Okay. So now 70-year-old men taking the pill. Dick hard all damn day, and they ain't fucking no 70-year-old white women. Y'all know that. They coming after you. Predators in the hood. Are you following me? And we don't have no defense force to defend them. Are you following? But yet, rappers are taking the pill, and who they coming after? Each other. You seen the Boondocks when they talking about homies over hoes. You know what I'm talking about. Do the homie. Are you following me? Gangstalicious and these kind of people and these kind of scenes taking place. So the brothers were coming after one another. Are you following me? And it made it very popular now and fashionable in hip hop now to be bisexual. I call them trisexuals. They sleeping with men, women, toys, animals, and a few other things. Are you following? You see, no, the metrosexual came first when they wanted to set up that buffer. So when the conscious rapper came to go get the deal, they had to come through the metrosexual. And they let you know from the rip, you got to go through the ritual. You see, the ritual, the homosexual ritual is designed so that they can bind you to them forever. Are you following me? So not only do this to rappers and other people in the music industry, presidents, dignitaries, and these other people have to go through it too. They set up Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. I'm sure you all read that the fact that she could have been an agent, and she probably was. Frequency.
That's right.
Don't start looking around.
That's right.
But somebody in is just in here is going to take this information to the government. And we can't be stupid.
Right. Every word.
Everywhere we go, is that one person that's in the audience that's going to take that information back. And we got to know and understand that's just a reality. Until we set up an infrastructure to deal with their ass, they're going to be here.
That's right.
Are you following me? So we have to do that. It's in hip-hop also. The brother that was part of the hip-hop cop task force, he admitted it. He said if it wasn't, yeah, this is the book. 12 years it took this gentleman to write this particular book. And inside of the back of the book, he has the FBI documents so you can read it for yourself, written by the FBI on exactly what they did in hip-hop to Tupac and black leadership, and he made the connection. Are you following me? And see, you could easily dispute what I say, but when it's in black and white, it's hard to refute this. Are you following me? It took him 12 years to write this book. He gave me the original manuscript that I tried to get him a publishing deal and couldn't get it. So him, Pam Africa, and some other people got together and they got the book out. Are you following me? Right, so they mentioned it in the DVD about the hip-hop car, and they said that if rappers didn't shoot one another up, somebody didn't get raped or somebody didn't get robbed, they would provide an incident for something to go down because they were setting hip-hop up for destruction. Now, this homo dude, hold that, what's his name? Puffy, P. Diddy, maybe this week. He was one of the ones that orchestrated some of these things. Now listen, there was a gentleman that he hooked up with, a fashion designer, a gay fashion designer, who put the implantable biomicrochip inside of the tag on the jeans. And what they did was they put a medium tag on the large jeans. So when the brothers went to go buy the clothes, they would sag and they'd naturally be big. So then when the information came out on how they were tracking the rappers in every city via your cell phone and via the implantable biomicrochip. So what they did was they put a dossier together, 500 pages thick. It's in a DVD. You have the DVD rap sheets?
Nah, that's out. I had it though.
Inside of the DVD rap sheets, the white boy, he wrote a letter, made a couple of phone calls, and emailed the Miami Police Department and the New York Police Department, and they sent the dossier to the white boy. He put it in a book and took a camera to follow him around, and he went to all of the rappers that were in the book, and he talked to them about that, and they were shocked. So it's a 500-page dossier, a surveillance of dossier on all of the rappers. So when he questioned them about this, they were shocked that they was in it. And he told them, he said, it's a hip-hop task force following the rappers. And they were scratching their head trying to figure out, well, how did they know I'd be in Denver, Colorado, or Miami, or Liberty City, or St. Louis, or Philly? They were being tracked. And they was trying to figure out how they were being tracked. They had people on the inside. Just like when T.I. got busted. Did you see all these military weapons that T.I. had in the trunk of his car that he's supposed to purchase from this agent? Well, T.I. got set up because they put somebody on the inside. Now, T.I. got busted with over 15 weapons. All right? They said some of the weapons were only, they were military weapons. Okay? Maybe y'all can answer that, how do military weapons get out on the street? But anyway, his girlfriend, now his wife, with the reality show, because she got rewarded, she got busted with a purse full of pills. All right? He got sentenced to 15 to life. Why is T.I. on the street? Somebody answer that for me. I'm going to let y'all marinate on that for a minute. How the hell is T.I. on the street already? Now, y'all know if that was my black ass, I'd be under the jail, right or wrong.
Because it was a ritual.
But now they're using T.I. T.I. working with Channel 2 and working with the police department in Atlanta, and he got a tip line now. Are you following me? So you can call 1-800-TIP-TI or whatever, and you can get the police. Are you following me? See, but this is what they're doing to hip-hop. Why? Because it's an attack. But we may not recognize it because it's a cultural attack. They're attacking the culture. Are you following me? And we got to understand that, and it's real. And even though you may not think that you're part of it, but some people like Denzel Washington, other people are part of it. Now, it was Jay-Z the one that bragged about he's sipping $20,000 bottles of Cristal in San Tropez with his hotel costing $40,000 a night. And he was the one that bragged on the cover of the Source magazine when they split him away from Dame Dash. All right? And he was the one bragging about this, talking about he's sipping Cristal with Blue Bloods. Well, who are the Blue Bloods? If you read the book, The 13 Bloodlines of the Illuminati, you can link Jay-Z right on in there with Barack Obama. That's why they best friends. It's no coincidence. Are you following me? And all of these people play a part in dumbing down the music and perverting the culture or the subculture called hip-hop. It was them that said that they heard the messianic voice coming from hip-hop. Not from one individual. Are you following me? But all of us collectively having that energy. Are you following me? Because hip-hop, it was the voice of the voices. I don't know what the hell it is now. My man Black Dot calls it shit hop, strategic high intensity training. That we see it walking, talking, and doing things, but it's not hip hop. And y'all can't even defend that madness. What we hearing today is not hip hop. Because if it was hip hop, we would hear the 4 elements, and we don't hear the 4 elements at all. Are you following me? So we have to understand that and just be real with it. This madness that we're hearing today is definitely not hip hop. So when I dropped all this information on the Occult Science Radio interview, which is the 18th chapter of the book, how many of y'all go to www.worldstarhiphop.com? On WorldStar, I got over 400,000 hits. Now, I don't know them brothers. They took the information from the Occult Science Radio, put images to it, and they put it on their site. 16 and 17-year-olds were blowing my phone up, and I'm like, well, where did you get the information? They said on WorldStar. I contacted the people from WorldStar and asked them if I could send them some more information. They was like, nah. So I guess they wanted to do their own thing, which is cool with me, but nonetheless, we need to keep the information in its proper context, because we don't want young people just going crazy. Now, I can't help it that average dude that feel like he's been deceived, he might run up on Jay-Z's ass. I don't know that, but that ain't my doing. I'm not instructing any young people to do that. But we have to question these people. Are you following me? Yes, sir. So what they did recently, they did question Jay-Z, and they asked him about whether or not he's part of the Illuminati. Now let's keep in mind, we throw this term around Illuminati, and a lot of us don't know what it means. Illuminati means holders of the light, light bearers. And they figure they have the light, and they hold the torch, and you see the signs and symbols all around us. But you have to become symbol literate. You got to be able to know what the signs and symbols look like in order for you to read the language. Let me give you an example real quick, and I don't want to talk you to death. The Exxon sign. The Exxon, do I have Exxon gas station here? Mm-hmm. Exxon EXXON, but it's not two X's. It's a Rosicrucian cross tilted sideways. All right? It's called the Cross of Lorraine. And where did they use that at in a ritual? Where did Dr. Martin Luther King get assassinated? At the Lorraine Motel. Are you following me? See, it's a ritual. And they get 2 and 3 shooters at the same time to crisscross so they don't miss. Same thing they did with JFK at the 33rd parallel in Dallas, Texas. These people are not playing. So some people ask me, well, what they got to do with hip hop? Why do they want little rappers? And because we're influencing the world. Everywhere you go in the world, hip hop is there. And Becky and Ashley and Jennifer and Johnny and the little white kids are getting it. Now it's a problem. Are you following me? It's a real problem with them. Can you imagine? These people run multinational corporations and they got to come home and listen to NWA and Public Enemy? Are you following me? It's a problem. It's a problem for them. They're trying to pass this down to their children. But if their children's minds, heads, and hearts are into hip hop, you know, things might change. You see, we have to understand something, be real, and be real with this. We constitute what, maybe 12 to 13% of the population? So it's a large majority of young white people that grew up on Minister Farrakhan, grew up on hip hop, grew up on listening to black people that voted Barack Obama into office. Not us. If we 12 to 13% of the population, and you do the numbers and you equate the figures with who voted for him, there's a lot of white people that voted for him. Well, who are these white people? These are the young people that grew up on hip hop. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is why it's imperative that they put certain people around Barack Obama to control things. Now I'm gonna tell you something. He's gotten more death threats than all of the American presidents combined on a daily and consistent basis. Are you following me? I don't feel sorry for his ass. Him and his wife belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, which I talked about in the book. So I said, sister, hold on. I know you want to curse me out, but you got to do your research. Are you following me? Michelle is often seen throwing up signs to the Illuminati because she speaks that language. She's on the board of directors of the Council on Foreign Relations. Council on Foreign Relations is the CFR. The CFR is a branch of the Illuminati in America. Plain and simple. They have an agenda. The agenda is to make all of us mindless ass slaves. I don't know if y'all read the document, the Rex 84, I'm sure you have, the King Alfred Plan. They wrote us in as they wrote us in as sheeple and units. You're not even human to them. You're useless eaters. You're like sheeple. Inside of the King Alfred Plan, they said it would take 8 hours for them to round us up and put us behind and put us in concentration camps. And this is real. And you're worried about fucking CD cases and rims? Come on, man. This is a lot deeper than that, man. They're attacking the culture. They're going to weaken the culture to the point where they're going to blur the gender line. You're not going to know whether or not you male, female, whether you have sex with animals or whatever. Are you following? Exactly. And dehumanizing us at the same time. So we have to understand that. This is by design. This is on every facet and every level of your life. For example, some of us that are here now, the last meal we ate was probably a number 3 at McDevil's, or Murder King, or Toxic Hell, or Drunken Donuts, right or wrong, or Dairy Queen, one of these places, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's not food. But it's hard to tell people that. This is not food that we're consuming. Are you following me? But what does it do to the body?
Genetically altered.
Thank you. You're eating Franken food. That's right. So we have to put living food in a living body in order to exist. But I don't want to talk y'all to death. So what I did, I put together different lectures to put on one DVD so you can get it like a shot to the damn vein, straightforward, without all of the damn gymnastics. So you follow me? The good brother out of Baltimore put it together for me just to show young people, to give them a quick sideline fireside chat and show them the images and the symbols. All right. So from this, you can do the other research to the other speakers and researchers that done a broader research on this. But see, young people can't sit still, and we need to understand that. They want everything quick, fast, supersize everything. All right. And I don't blame them. Because a lot of older people just talk too damn much. Let's get right to the damn point. I don't need all the fluff. Are you following me? And this is real. You know, they download stuff. They sending pictures over YouTube and MySpace and Facebook. But we do need to let young people know that Facebook was set up by the government. And y'all need to get that shit. Dumbasses, you let people know you're using the bathroom. I'm about to go to the toilet. I'm about to go to eat. I'm calling my friend Margaret. Come the fuck on. You're giving them all your information. Everywhere you go and everything you do. Twittering like twidiots. They twittering this shit, knowing damn well that that thing got to go through a satellite, hit a couple of beams, bounce over a couple of things, go through them, and then you get it. We need to understand that. They admitted it on the internet that YouTube was, Facebook was set up by the government. Along with the facial recognition software that they were selling. So you can walk through the airport now, they take a picture of your face, they got all your information. Well, how did they do that? You gave it to them on MySpace and Facebook. You remember 10 years ago when they started getting your zip code? At Home Depot and Office Depot and all these other places, you see they was collecting data. That's right. Collecting data to get everybody in the system, to get everybody on the same damn grid. Now everybody in this room have to adhere to 5 numbers that belong to you and you only. Alright? In the music industry, we call it intellectual property when you make a song. In the computer world, you call it what? An IP address. Everyone has an IP address. You got a physical address. You got a zip code and an area code to your cell phone number. You probably have 2. You have a social security number and you have an address. They can easily round you up. It ain't no damn problem. Track down and find you through one of those numbers. Plain and simple. Are you following me? So we have to understand it, man. And like I said, the attack is cultural, but they coming for us physically. Physically. Now listen, last but not least, they got these acoustic sound weapons that can fry your ass from a distance. Absolutely. And they mounted them on top of police trucks. Are you following me? That's right. Let me tell you, watch the DVD, The Panama Deception, with General Torrijos. They invaded Panama to arrest Noriega, but they went into black neighborhoods to test these weapons. If you watch The Panama Deception, it'll show you what the weapons can do. What they do from a distance, probably about a mile away, they point it in your direction. The sound beam goes out, and it fries your insides, but it leaves you standing. This is sound acoustic weapons, and they use it for riots. And this is real. Are you following me? So I have different conversations with the beautiful thing that we was at a couple of weeks ago in New York. It was beautiful because all of the frontline organizations came together. No more bickering and arguing. Although I did have some questions to ask each one of them. I wanted to ask the Moors, what's the science of going downtown to file with the open enemy? He showed what the hell he did with the Native American. He's not going to honor no treaty and your sovereignty. Fuck him. We got to get permission to be ourselves from the cracker? No. Just be yourself. Am I right or wrong? Right. He's not going to honor the documents any old damn way. That's right. Name one matter of fact, Dr. Scott Whitaker, he asked me this. Name one disease that he's ever cured since he's been on the planet. Thank you. I mean, we got medical doctors and all kind of letters and numbers behind their name. What did they ever cure? Are you following me? So we have to understand that it's not designed for that. They're the ones that are called in to make the damn disease. Dr. Scott Whitaker calls this new disease and virus they put out, they said they hid it in the H1N1 vaccination, but they put the disease inside the vaccination. He called it the Hispanic one, nigger one virus. Are you following me? So we have to understand. Well, listen, if you go do your research, they recalled all of the batches of vaccines and the syringes, because the syringes wasn't big enough to give you the implantable bio microchip that they were going to put in you once they gave you the vaccination. And this is real. Now you're walking around with the chip in your ass. Are you following me? Without you even knowing about it. How many people here took the virus? I mean the vaccination. Y'all need to stop. Nobody? You remember early on they were trying to give it to pregnant women? What was that for? You know damn well if you're pregnant you don't get vaccinated. But people fell for that. And I think on the on the internet they had a cheerleader who took it and 10 days later it messed up her neurological system and she can only walk backwards. Oh, y'all think I'm playing. She can only walk backwards, but you see they didn't take the same one they gave to the general population. We have to understand it's different for them. The blue bloods, you understand what I'm saying? They took a different vaccination. Are you following me? So I'm going past belief. They had designed that particular experiment to shift the plates up under Iran at the behest of the Mossad in Israel. The Mossad is like the CIA in America. That's right. Like the MI5 and MI6 in Britain and in England. All right. So they was experimenting with the H.O.I project to move one of the tectonic plates that's under Iran. So that devastation that you're seeing in Haiti can happen in Iran, so they can install it. Now listen, I don't know if y'all watching or listening to the world news. There's still revolution in Iran, but they won't let you know that. They're trying to install a puppet leadership inside of Iran like they did in the 80s when Jimmy Carter was president. When they took, right. So they installed the Shah, and when they came after the Shah, the military brought the Shah of Iran to America to protect him. Well, you remember recently when they went and extracted Aristide out of Haiti? What was going on? You see, they tried it then, it didn't work, and they had to reinstall him and put him back in place. That's right. Now, I don't know if y'all know geography, you'll probably do, but where Haiti sits, there's other islands that surround Haiti. Haiti is on the same landmass as Santo Domingo. So how did Haiti get, the earthquake happened to Haiti and not anyone else? Hello. Are you following me? You see, the H.O.I project, which sits up in Alaska, shifted the tectonic plate under Haiti. Are you following me? Yes. We have to understand, and that is real. These people are not playing. You talk about gentrification. They moving black people out of the inner city. Well, they're doing that to governments and countries of people. The tsunami was not an accident. Thank you. These things are not accidents. That's right. Are you following me? Yes. So we have to understand this, and this is real. And I'm telling y'all straight up, the attack is on. So I'm gonna tell you, like Stephen Biko told us, revolution is not an event. It's a process. Violence in the context of being free is not good and evil, it's fucking necessary. Dr. King said that. Are you following me? And we have to understand that to a large degree. And listen, what I'm saying for these few minutes ain't got a damn thing to do with Professor Griff's beliefs. Believe this shit, take it, or let it alone, it's going down. That's right. Are you following me? So that's why when people approach me with this religious shit, I say, get it out of my face, dude. I want nothing to do with religion. That's right. It's too divisive. That's right. If my spirit can't connect with yours, then I don't really need to be around you. I want to connect with like-minded people. We have to survive. Last but not least, I'm trying to develop this thing, and maybe someone here can help me. I'm trying to develop this thing called the Black Pack. Regular average backpack that you see these crackers climbing these mountains with. We're going to get one of them, and we're going to put in it everything we need to survive for 90 days. Put it in the front closet by the front door of your house. When the shit go down, snatch it and let's go meet somewhere and defend ourselves. Are you following me? Are you following me? That's what we need. We need a contingency plan. They got one. That's right. Absolutely. I go to these little white boy preparedness meetings and gun shows and shit. They ready. Buying cases and cases of bullets. For what? Did you see on the internet where they had thousands and thousands of coffins in Georgia, in South Georgia, already ready? So it's going down. Are you following me? So we have to understand this particular dynamic, man. I love y'all to life. I'm glad y'all came out. Purchase the book. The information is definitely in here. Support the brother. Love y'all to death. Love y'all to life, rap. All right, peace, man. Give thanks. Give thanks. If y'all want to get the DVD, I got about 10 of them here. I don't know what you charge for your DVDs, but I'll let you handle that. I'll just turn them over to you. You charge them, all right? All right. I really appreciate that.
And y'all Philadelphia folks, I want you to know that we're going to have all of his collection in the Black Star newspaper. So y'all know about Black Star newspaper. The next edition is going to be permanent from now on, that this brother's collection is going to be in that newspaper from now on. We're going to move a lot of that other ad stuff out of there, put this brother in there, because ain't no other Philadelphia newspaper going to touch this brother. And that's why the Black Star is going to put him on the front and on the back and in the middle.
Oh, give that.
Thank you, brother.
Whoever purchased the book, just come get a free DVD. It's Public Enemy in 1987. This is vintage. This is when Flavor wasn't on crack. Are you following me? So whoever purchased the book, you can get one of these for free.
You know what I'm saying? Man just cut loose and they're like, all right, we got something for you. We're going to set you up. We're going to use your own black woman to set you up. You know, but read on. First Maccabees 2 and
We're at
67.
Oh, okay, 67.
Right.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 67. Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
Go ahead.
Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the Lord.
Right, so we have to avenge our people, man. Because, you know, nobody's standing up. Nobody's going to war for the children of Israel, man. So the only thing we can do right now, and the Most High got it like that, we got to go to spiritual war, right? And we get out there and we shut down the lies. Okay? We go to spiritual war now. So go from there. No, read on. Finish that out.
Verse 69. So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers.
Meaning he died. Matthias blessed his sons and told them to carry on the revolution. He said, I started the revolution, but now I'm about to die. Carry on the revolution. Right? War is celebrated in the scriptures. Go ahead.
And he died in the 140th and 6th year. And his sons buried him in the sepulchres of his father and Modin. And all Israel made great lamentation for him.
Right, they made lamentation for him. He was a great man. But he said what? He said, keep the fight going. Right? So we started out with Exodus 15 and 3. The Lord is a man of war. So war is celebrated in scripture, especially war in righteousness. It said Yahweh is coming back, and in righteousness, he's going to judge and make war. Okay? Right, so go from there to Baruch. All right. Chapter 4 and verse 25. Baruch 4 and 25. Then we'll go back to First Maccabees. Right, so I just want to warm up. What's that, about 5-6 precepts? War can be celebrated according to scripture, especially war in righteousness. All right? Right, Baruch 4:25.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy has persecuted thee.
Right, it says, suffer patiently the wrath that's come upon us from the Most High. Who put us in this condition? The Lord, because we broke his commandments as a nation. All right, and it says, for thine enemy have persecuted thee. Esau persecuted us as a people. Right, come on.
But shortly thou shalt see his destruction.
Right, shortly we're going to see his destruction. When Yahweh returns to do what? Judge and make war. Right, we're going to see his destruction. Come on.
And shall tread upon his neck.
And then we get them in the kingdom, we're going to tread upon his neck. Right, God? By H.O.I. So vengeance is coming, right? The Lord said what, man? By violence, right? He built it on violence. He's going to be overthrown by violence. All right, so war can be celebrated according to scripture. I could put that as like a pre-topic.
425.
Okay? Yeah, what was that, about 6 or 7 scripts?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pre-topic.
425.
War can be celebrated. So let's go to First Maccabees 1 and 1 now. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1. And everybody have it. So we're just going to read a few verses in the beginning. We're not going to read the whole thing for the sake of time. First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim and smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
Right, he smote Darius, kings of the Persians and Medes, because this was time for the Greeks. The third kingdom that Daniel saw in Daniel 2, it was the third kingdom to come in power. The second kingdom was the Medo-Persian kingdom. First kingdom was the Babylonian. Third kingdom was the Greeks. Fourth kingdom was the Romans, which was one and the same. All right, go ahead.
Verse 2.
And they reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So this is Alexander the Greek, or Alexander. They called him the so-called great, but he was a great homosexual. That's what he was, right?
Yes.
right? A great committer of bestiality. That's what he was, all right? But this is Alexander coming into power, okay? He reigned in the stead the first over Greece. Keep that in mind, the first over Greece. Read on.
And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth.
Right, he made many wars and won many strongholds.
And
All right, and did what?
And slew the kings of the earth.
Right, because it was his time to rule.
Right.
So anybody that tried to come up against him in opposition, they were destroyed. Okay? Right, go ahead.
And went through to the ends of the earth.
Right, he went through to the ends of the earth. Go ahead.
And took spoils of many nations.
Right, he spoiled the nations. Right, go ahead.
Insomuch that the earth was quiet before him.
What did the Lord say?
The earth was quiet before him.
The earth was, Shalom King. Right, the earth was quiet before him because what? It was his time to rule. All right, all the nations had their time to rule. So when you rose up, nobody was going to be able to come against you because the Most High was with you, even if he was a heathen king. Right? Notice it said he slew the kings of the earth, and that the earth was quiet before him. Go ahead. That's the bathroom. Just knock. Make sure nobody in there.
Whereupon he was.
Yeah, Salakia brothers. The bathroom is the middle door on your left. All right. Just knock. Make sure nobody's in there. All right. Salakia, read on.
Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
Read on.
Verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries, and nations, and kings, who became tributaries unto him.
Go ahead.
And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, just such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them, while he was yet alive.
Now remember, we read last week in Daniel's 8. Remember the prophecy in Daniel 8, and it broke down the 4 notable horns, the 4 generals that came out of Alexander before he died, that he parted his kingdom amongst. Okay? Right? It was prophesied in Daniel, but fulfilled after Maccabees. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died. And his servants bear rule, every one in his place.
That's the 4 notable ones that we read about in Daniel. Go ahead.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth.
So what happened when the so-called white man came into power? Evils were, read that last part again.
Evils were multiplied in the earth.
Right, so they say, that old legend, civilization started with the Greeks. But what kind of civilization? Evil civilization. God? It says in Salakia, and evils were multiplied in the earth. God? So it's letting you know, when Esau, when the so-called white man came into power, what happened? Evils multiplied in the earth. Okay?
Job 9:24.
Right, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay? Read on.
And there came out of them a wicked root.
Now it already said the earth, evils were multiplied in the earth. So out of that evil came a wicked root. Out of the evil came evil. Evil upon evil, right? Go ahead. Antiochus.
Antiochus, surname Epiphanes.
Go ahead.
Son of Antiochus the king.
Come on.
Who had been a hostage at Rome.
Right, because the Romans and the Greeks were warring at the time. All right, go ahead.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the king of the Greeks. Kingdom of the Greeks.
Go ahead.
In those days went there out Israel wicked men.
Now keep these 11 verses that we're reading, keep them in mind. Because a lot of this is the fulfillment of the prophecy we want to read in Daniel. Right, go ahead.
Persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So this is our people saying, well, if we can't beat them, join them. Right?
Integration.
Right, integration. Right? Right? I have a dream that one day we're going to all hold hands. Right, God? So this was going on back then. Same thing. a lot of our people want to assimilate. Right? Remember the Malcolm X movie when he was doing an interview, and the black man, he said, "Why do you hate? Why do you teach hate?" You know what I'm saying? And Malcolm was like, "Wait a minute. That's like the rapist asking a rape, why do you hate me?" You know what I'm saying? Because you just raped me, that's why. You just killed my whole family and stole my land.
Right.
Right? That's an act of hate. I shouldn't hate you back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, basically our people said if we can't beat them, join them. That's that spirit. Khan? If we can't be against this white man and do nothing to him, we might as well get in the league with him. Right? That's what our people do now. We got what they call that a defeatist mentality, man.
Right.
Right? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Cooper's good white folk. You know what I'm saying? He pays me good and lets me clean and work for him. Come on, man, why do you want to mess that up? Right? So this is what our people, you know, they tend to go along to get along. Kind? Go from there to now. Let's go back to Daniel's 8:1. All right. Now, last week we read Daniel's 8. We started at 8. We're gonna start at 1 today to give you a little bit more of the prophecy that's in Daniel concerning Chaanakah, and to show you how all these brothers and sisters that come up with this theory that the Hanukkah is not in the law, that is not our feast day. But check this out. Check out the history. All right, let's go to Daniel's 8:1. Last week we started at 8. We're going to start at 1 today. All right. Read that, Daniel's 8:1.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass, when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam. And I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai.
Go ahead.
Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river of Ram, which had 2 horns.
Anybody know who the ram is with the 2 horns? Don't yell out. Right, who's the ram with the 2 horns? Who does that symbolize? The ram with the 2 horns. Jump down to verse 20. I'll just give it to y'all. Read verse 20.
Verse 20. The ram which saw us having 2 horns are the king of Media and Persia.
All right. Media. Not Medea. They say Tyler Perry got that. All right. Read that again. Daniel's 8:20.
The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
Right, the kings of Media and Persia. Right, Khan? It's pronounced like, the Media and Persia. Yeah. Right. So what is that? The Medo-Persian Empire. Khan? This is what Daniel is seeing. He's seeing a vision of the different kingdoms. Khan? Right, go back to verse 3. Read it again.
Verse 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other. The
reason why it says one was higher than the other, because the Persian kingdom was stronger and it ruled for longer. Khan? So it was known as the Medo-Persian Empire because they absorbed the Medes, but the Persian kingdom was stronger and it ruled for a longer time. Okay? That's why one horn was higher. The horns represents power and rulership. Okay? Right? And we know according to verse 20, is see the scriptures answer itself. Right? You can go into the history, of course, but the scriptures is going to answer itself. Okay? Right, go ahead.
And the higher came up last.
Right, go ahead.
I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward.
Right, conquering all the nations. Go ahead.
So that no beast might stand before him.
No other nation could stand before them because it was their time to rule. Khan, whenever the Most High allowed, it could have been the damn rice-eating Moabites It could have been the Babylonians. It could have been whoever. Whatever nation, the Most High was with them. You could not stop them. Because the Most High was allowing them to rule at that time.
And that would be under the Xerxes. Xerxes was the king.
It was different. It was different Persian rulers and leaders. Yeah.
Okay.
It was not just Xerxes. It was different ones over the years. Yeah, he was just one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Go ahead.
So that no beast might stand before him.
That no beast might stand before him. Go ahead.
Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
Because when it was time for the Persians and Medes to rule, it was their time to rule. You couldn't do nothing because the Most High was with them. Go ahead.
But he did according to his will and became great.
Right, come on.
And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth.
So now, who's the he-goat?
The eagle
The he-goat.
or he-goat?
No, eagle. Well, he's the eagle too, but who's the he-goat? Don't yell out. All right.
Alexander the Great.
Alexander the Great, right? The he-goat. He's the he-goat. Right, go ahead.
And as I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west and on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground.
Meaning he was moving fast. When it says touch not the ground, you know how somebody moving so fast, it looked like their feet ain't even touching the ground. Right, go ahead.
And touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
The goat had a notable horn between his eyes. Anybody know what that means? The notable horn in between his eyes. Anybody? I ain't gonna give it to you. Right, go ahead.
Verse 6.
Right?
And he came to the ram and had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power.
In the what?
The fury of his power.
In the fury of his power.
Power.
Right? Read on.
That's the answer right there.
Huh?
Yeah.
Is that the answer? For the eyes between the horn?
No. Keep going.
Verse 7. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him.
Somebody look up the word choler. Choler. All right, read on.
And smote the ram.
And what?
Smote the ram.
So the he-goat came and smoked the ram. Go ahead.
And brake his two horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him.
Anybody know what that's talking about? Yahweh.
Alexander's defeat of the Persian Mede Empire.
Khan. The he-goat is who? Alexander. The notable horn is who? Alexander. Right? Because why he's the notable horn? Because what? He was the main known king. Whenever you think about the Greeks, you think about Alexander, right? And why was he the notable horn? Because he was the first king of the Greeks. Khan? Right, go ahead.
Verse 8.
Who looked up the word? Choler.
I got it. It's morar in the Hebrew.
Uh-huh.
A primitive root properly to trickle, but used only as a denominative to be causatively make bitter. Literally or figuratively, be in, deal, have, make bitterly, be moved with choler, be have sorely grieved, provoked, or vexed. But the biblical outline usage is to be bitter.
Correct. So read 7 again. Daniel 8 and 7.
Daniel chapter 8 verse 7. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler.
He was moved with bitterness.
Bitterness.
Right? The he-goat, which was Alexander, he was moved with bitterness against the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay?
Right.
Because he saw, he just can't wait to conquer a nation. Okay? Right? Shalom, family. Shalom, back. Right? Go ahead.
And he was moved with choler.
He was moved with what?
With choler.
With choler. Bitterness. Come on.
Against him.
Come on.
And smote the ram.
Esau was vicious whenever he was conquering nations. He was moved with bitterness. Look at what he did to God. He was moved with bitterness against God. Right? Come on.
And smote the ram.
Go ahead.
And brake his two horns.
Go ahead.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
Go ahead.
Therefore the he-goat waxed very great.
All right, we read that last week from 8 to 14. Jump down to 21.
Verse 21. And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
Go ahead.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Now jump over to verse 5 again.
Verse 5. And I was considering, behold, a he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes.
Now jump back over to 21.
And the rough goat is the king of Grecia.
So the rough goat is the king of Grecia. Go ahead.
And the horn that is between his eyes.
And the great horn.
And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
The great horn that is between his eyes, or the notable horn, is the first king, which is who? Alexander. Okay? Now bring it on home. Go back to 1 Maccabees 1:1. So the scripture is going to answer itself. Okay? Right? Go to 1 Maccabees 1:1. Bring it on home.
1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim and Kittim, and smitten Darius.
Kittim is would be Cyprus today.
Cyprus.
Right, go ahead.
And smitten Darius, king of Persians and Medes.
He smote Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes. Go ahead.
That he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
Now we just read that history right there in Daniel 8, verses 1 through 7. Okay? And you jump down to verses 20 and 21. Really the whole chapter, but I just want to get to the main point of it. That history, that first verse in Maccabees 1:1, that's saying a lot. That's summed up in Daniel chapter 8, verses 1 through 7 that we read. Okay? And verses 20 and 21, because it tells you who the ram is and who the he-goat is. Okay? Right. Read on.
Verse 2.
No, Salakia. Now, I'm going to read the Bible commentary like I read last week. Daniel 8, verses 1 through 7 in the Bible commentary. Now, look how the history is going to back it up along with the scriptures. All right? See, they know, man. They know the history is there. Or the Bible is a bunch of made-up stories. Okay. All right. This is Daniel 8:1 in the biblical commentary. After writing the Aramaic from chapters 2 and 4 to 728, Daniel returns to writing in Hebrew. Shushan was about 230, verse 2. Shushan was about 230 miles east of Babylon. Ulai was an artificial canal located a few miles from Shushan. The ram, verse 3, the ram represents Medo-Persia. Verse 20, the two horns symbolize the people of Media and the people of Persia. Verse 4, Cyrus and his successors conquered westward, including Babylon, Syria, and Asia Minor. Northward, including Armenia and the Caspian Sea region, and southward, including Egypt and Ethiopia. Cyrus being the Persian king, of course, right? It says, verse 5 and 6, the goat represents Greece. Verse 21. The notable horn symbolizes Alexander the Great. Verse 21, who launched his attack against Persia in 334 BC. By 332 BC, he had essentially subdued the Persian Empire without touching the ground. Alexander's conquest was so rapid that it seems as if he flew across the earth. Remember it said that he go touch not the ground?
Right.
So the scholars is confirming everything the scriptures are saying.
Right.
God? Verse 7. The Persian forces outnumbered the Greeks, but in two decisive battles, the Medo-Persian Empire collapsed. See that? So there you go. The Nelson's Bible commentary, it backs up what the scriptures are saying and the history. Okay? So you can't get around it. You can't get around it. It's telling you, it's even giving you the precepts. Salakia. is even giving you the precepts to verse 20 and 21. Like we was jumping back and forth, is even giving you the precepts in the commentary. So Esau and the biblical scholars, they know, because they got the history from us.
Alexander the Great, renowned king of Macedon, was a remarkable figure who achieved great feats of conquest and war. He inherited a strong kingdom and an experienced army, and during his reign as king of Macedon, he successfully took over Persia and Egypt, with his empire reaching both Africa and the edge of India. This empire, however, was not built on brute force alone. Alexander also used his incredible skills of manipulation and cunning to conquer the minds of the people, as seen with his final conquest of Persia. Alexander was pursuing the Persian king, Darius III, following his victory against him at the Battle of Gaugamela. However, before Darius was able to be caught by Alexander, Darius's bodyguard, Bessus, with the support of other satraps, deposed and then assassinated him. It is unclear, however, whether Bessus's intentions were for personal gain or for the good of Persia. Regardless of the motivation, with Darius III gone, Bessus assumed his position to become the new emperor of Persia. How Alexander dealt with this truly illustrates his skill as a conqueror, as, in a twist, Alexander declared war on Bessus. He claimed that he was avenging the Persian people and their slaughtered king.
With Alexander now on the side of the Persian people, his army, having conquered most of Persia, and Bessus's men not wanting to flee their homeland to continue to protect him, Bessus was ultimately captured by Macedonian forces. However, instead of punishing Bessus himself, Alexander reinforces his claim that he was acting purely in the name of justice by handing Bessus over to the Persians for them to deal with him as they saw fit, which is believed to have been by crucifixion. Then, to complete his deception, he gives his former enemy, Darius III, a grand funeral and claims he named him as his successor. Therefore, history was rewritten, and Alexander went from being the man who conquered Persia and seized it from Darius to becoming the man who saved Persia from the usurper Bessus. As this story makes very clear, Alexander's skill as a conqueror does not lie solely in his skill as a general and the power of his army. It also lies in his ability to trick, manipulate, and twist perception to conquer not just land, but also the minds of the people he is conquering.
Psalms 89:14 real quick. All right, get Psalms 89:14. So they can't get around it. Con? Right? They know the history. They know what the scriptures is talking about. So that's the prophecy is there. So it was you made up. You trying to have a Jewish Christmas and you made up Hanukkah. No, you don't understand the prophecy and the history. All right, read that Psalms 89. Salakia. 85, my bad. Psalms 85 and 11. When everybody have it, say Con. Psalms 85 and 11.
That's a good one. The book of Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
What did the Lord say?
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
Truth is going to spring out of the earth, meaning the archaeology, the records, the documents, the history, the Bible. All that is springing out of the earth. Right? Go ahead. The artifacts, everything. Go ahead.
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
Come on.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven.
And the Most High going to send the spirit of truth and righteousness down on the heaven for us to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Go to Revelation 12:15. Link that up. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 15.
The book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 15. And 12, verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Who's the serpent? Don't yell out.
Esau.
Go a little bit deeper. The serpent is the devil. By way of Esau. Because you got it, it's the spiritual demon Satan, and then who does he use on the earth? Esau.
Yeah.
Remember, Esau is a physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. You're right when you say Esau, but I would just say go a little bit deeper.
Okay.
God, read it again, Revelation 12:15.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth.
So the serpent is the devil by way of Esau. The spiritual demon by way of his physical counterpart, the so-called white man on the earth. He casts out of his mouth water. Go ahead.
As a flood.
What is the flood of water?
This politics. I'm sorry. We held it out. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Okay.
His lies.
His lies.
Yeah.
Kind of his lies are his politics, his philosophies, his doctrines, his indoctrination of the earth, especially the false indoctrination of Israel. That's the water that the serpent cast out of his mouth, like a flood. He tried to flood us with lies so we could never understand and see the truth.
Right.
All right, come on.
Out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman.
Who's the woman? Anybody? Don't yell out. Who's the woman?
Israel.
God. All right, go ahead.
Yell out.
He had his hand up tall. he get a little bit of pass because he had his hand up, right? He had his hand up as he yelled out, right? Go ahead.
15. 12 and 15. That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
What does it mean when he said to cause us to be carried away of the flood?
Consumed by his lies.
Consumed by his lies. What happened? What does a flood do to you? It drowns you. So that he might drown us in his lies. What happens when you drown? You die. So he wanted to kill us. What did he want to kill us as a people with his lies? Right? Meaning kill our mind. And then if he kill your mind, Shalom family, Shalom everybody coming in. I see y'all Salakia. If you're spiritually dead, then he got you. He can just control your flesh.
Right.
If you spiritually dead, if you dead in the mind, then he can just control your flesh. He can get you you're like he's like a ventriloquist. He can just control you. You're like a puppet to him. And that's what our people are. Our people are like puppets. Bring it out, King.
That's why Esau is so big on saying the anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitism,
anti-Semitic, so they could, control that narrative. People.
That's why I think that Kanye West thing is deeper, man.
Yeah.
I think it's deeper. I think that could be a mind control psyops. Or they're using it to their advantage. Because now they did this whole special on ABC. That went over a lot of people's head. But I caught it. They did this whole special on anti-Semitism. Like a 3-hour special. And it was like, the hate is getting worse and it was a Edomite that shot a BB gun at a so-called Jew and his son in Brooklyn, and they said black Hebrew Israelites did that.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Kind of find out it looked like a.
At 7:30 this morning, Walt Whitman students got up from first period and poured into the Commons to protest anti-Semitism in their school.
This community will not accept hatred within its walls.
Last weekend, several anti-Semitic hate crimes pushed students to demonstrate. First, someone spray-painted "Jews Not Welcome" on the school's front signboard.
And also emailed several Whitman staff members with anti-Semitic emails.
Freshman Rachel Barold and the student group Jews for Change did something about it. For more than an hour, students got an unplanned lesson in the history and impacts of anti-Semitism.
At Walt Whitman High School, we don't tolerate hate. We don't tolerate anti-Semitism.
And student leaders like Rachel say this is just the first step. They want Montgomery County Public Schools overall to step up, especially when it comes to the history of hate.
More Holocaust education starting early, starting when kids get access to the internet, starting when they have access to misinformation.
A student walkout to teach a lesson in fighting intolerance. In Bethesda, Maryland, I'm Matt Gregory, WUSA 9.
Narrative now. They running with the Shalom family. They running with the narrative now. You know, so this whole anti-Semitism thing they running with, it's like, wait a minute, this is an agenda. You know what I'm saying? So all that is part of the serpent and this flood, man.
That Edomite said he was a Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right? Yeah, he said he was a Hebrew Israelite. But now, when the smoke clear, they're going to blame everything on us. Everything going to be blamed on us. But that comes with the territory. Okay? So read on. Verse 16 in Revelation 12:16.
Verse 16, and the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood.
How is the earth helping the woman? With the true history coming out. The archaeology, the documents, the true history, the Bible, the different ancient writings. That's how the earth is helping the woman. The information is coming from all over the earth to back up the truth, even by a simple book that some Edomite scholars put together, the Nelson's Compact Bible Commentary. It gives you a verse-by-verse breakdown of what the scriptures is talking about, along with us knowing the precepts already anyway. Esau is just backing up what we know, and he get the information from our ancient scholars anyway, and just rewrote it in books, okay? So it's just we getting our information back, okay? So that's how the earth is helping the woman. The information is coming out throughout the earth to give us back. We are the children of Israel. Okay? The earth is helping us by the archaeology, the history. You know what I'm saying? They just found some other some other coins and carvings in Israel, solidifying, you know, the existence of the Maccabees and everything, the Maccabean family and everything. They found ancient coins of Antiochus Epiphanes and everything. Right? So letting you know these people actually existed. These biblical people actually existed. Oh, the Bible is just made up of fairy tales. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so read on. But the earth is helping us now because the information is coming out. Go ahead.
And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
The flood of lies got swallowed up by the earth. Okay? It got swallowed up by the truth. Okay? Right, come on.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
And a lot of the anger that's coming out now and fear, for lack of a better word, is brothers is flooding the internet with this truth. Okay? You got mad camps out here. You got mad YouTube pages. Every time you turn around, somebody posting a video. Okay? It's so many camps, man. I can't even keep up no more, man. It's so many, man. I said this years ago, but we done covered the damn alphabet, man, with camps. the ZOW camp, the XYZ camp. We done used every letter in the damn alphabet. Okay? So many camps.
The X-Men of Israel.
The X-Men, the alphabet. Israel, we the alphabet boys now. That's what the cat in St. Louis call us that. Brother Jacob. He hate the camps. He call us the alphabet boys. You know what I'm saying? He hates the camps. But Israel is the alphabet boys now, man. Because every time you turn around, somebody's starting another camp. Or there's a split, or brothers, I don't want to be here no more. Go do my own thing.
Start another name.
Yeah, start another name. You know what I'm saying? What we say, Rob, they get a T-shirt and a YouTube channel.
T-shirt, YouTube channel.
No, now it's a logo now. A logo. You gotta get the logo first. Because before you get the T-shirt, you gotta have the logo first. They get the logo, the T-shirt, YouTube channel. Here goes a new cap.
Off to the races.
Off to the races. God. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to our new channel.
I'm not in it for the views.
Right, I'm not in it for the views, but subscribe to the new channel. Right? Right? It is what it is, though. Whether in pretense or truth, H.O.I is taught. Okay? We'll get it together one day. Read on.
Verse 17, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
So that's what's happening now, anti-Semitism. That's the dragon making war with the woman. The dragon also represents Satan by way of Esau. The woman is Israel, and they're about to make war against us. That's how they come in with the anti-Semitism. Okay? Right, come on.
which keep the commandments of the Most High.
They're going to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh. Go ahead.
And have the testimony of H.O.I.
Right? Those you out there with fringes and doing the work. That's what it's talking about. You keep the commandments and you have the testimony. Right? You're keeping the laws and you're teaching the gospel. Right? So, who's that? Oh, the water says Shalom. All right, so go back. Where we was at? Where we left off at?
Psalms 85.
Psalms 85. Yeah, Psalms 85:11 links up with Revelation 12:15, 16.
It was 85:14.
80. No, it's 80. I called 89:14. That was a mistake.
That's 85:14.
No, it's 85:11. Psalms 85:11 links with Revelation 12:15 and 16. And you can just read 17 also. Okay. All right, so go from there to 1 Maccabees 4. We don't have to do the whole chapter tonight. We're going to get just right to the point. 1 Maccabees 4. And it started around 36. We don't have to do the whole chapter. We did the whole chapter last week. Yeah, started 36.
Okay. 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 36. Then said Judas and his brethren, Behold, our enemies are discomfited. Let us go up and cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary.
Right, so keep that in mind. Cleanse and dedicate the sanctuary. Come on.
Upon this all the hosts assembled themselves together and went up into Mount Sion. And when they saw the sanctuary desolate and the altar profane and the gates burned up and the shrubs growing in the courts as in a forest or in one of the mountains, yea, and the priest's chambers pulled down, they rent their clothes and made great lamentation and cast ashes upon their heads.
Go ahead.
And fell down flat to the ground upon their faces and blew an alarm with trumpets and cried toward heaven. Then Judas appointed certain men to go fight against those that were in the fortress until he had cleansed the sanctuary.
So now, 1 Maccabees 4, verse 36 and verse 41 with Daniel's 8 and 14. We don't have to get it. We went over it last week. If everybody remember, you have in your notes from last week, the prophecy in Daniel's 8 was that what? After a certain period of time, that the temple would be cleansed. All right, now it's fulfilled right here in the Maccabees. Okay? Right, so we don't have to get it. Like I said, we went over it last week. Just write it down again and, have a second set of notes. 1 Maccabees 4, 36 and verse 41 with Daniel 8 and 14. Okay? All right. Because what? The whole prophecy in Daniel 8 was that what? After a certain dispensation of time, after the temple being defiled, it would be cleansed. Okay? The scripture's going to speak for themselves. Right? And then the history just put the icing on the cake. The truth shall come out of the earth. Okay? Right? Read on. Verse 42.
Verse 42. So he chose priests of blameless conversation, such as had pleasure in the Lord.
Go ahead.
Who cleansed the sanctuary.
Oh, there you go. Verse 43 too. Right, go ahead.
And bear out the defiled stones into an unclean place. And when, as they consulted what to do with the altar of burnt offerings, which was profane, they thought it best to pull it down.
Go ahead.
Lest it should be reproached to them, because the heathen had defiled it. Wherefore they pulled it down.
Go ahead.
And laid up the stones in the mountain of the temple in a convenient place, until there should come a prophet to show what should be done with them. Then they took whole stones according to the Lord, and built a new altar according to the former.
Good.
And made up the sanctuary and the things that were within the temple, and hallowed the courts.
They cleansed the temple and the sanctuary and everything again. Good.
Verse 49. They made also new holy vessels, and into the temple they brought the candlestick.
They brought what?
They brought the candlestick.
What is the candlestick? Tariq?
The menorah.
Khan. Right, go ahead.
And the altar of burnt offerings, and of incense, and the table. Verse 50. And upon the altar they burned incense, and the lamps that were upon the candlestick.
They lit the menorah. Go ahead.
They lighted, that they might have give light in the temple.
Right, that it might give light in the temple. All right, so that's so-called Jewish folklore or legend that they only had a little small cruse of oil. Right, they only had this much oil, and that was only enough to last for a day. But it lasted miraculously for 8 days. That's why they made the Feast of Dedication for 8 days. No. All right, that's not what it's saying here. They lit the menorah like they normally do, and they made it an 8-day feast after the Feast of Tabernacles, like we're going to read later. Come on.
Verse 51. Furthermore, they set the loaves upon the table and spread out the vials and finished all the works which they had begun to make.
Come on.
Now on the 5th and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month of Caslau, in the 140th and 8th year, they rose up betimes in the morning and offered sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings which they had made. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it. Even in that was it dedicated with songs, citherns, and harps and cymbals.
Right, different instruments. They played righteous music and righteous songs. Right, and different instruments. All right. The cithern, which is like the is similar to the guitar, and the harps and the cymbals, like you know what they have in a marching band, the two plates that they crash together. You know, they was
cymbals.
Yeah, they was playing different instruments and music, righteous music to the Most High. And of course, the reason why it says, look at what time and what day the heathen, we went over that last week. The same day that the temple was defiled, 2 to 3 years later, the temple was cleansed on the same day. And we had the Feast of Dedication. We don't have to get it. 1 Maccabees 1:54 to 64. All right, with 1 Maccabees 4 and 54. The same day the temple was defiled, a couple of years later, was the same day that it was cleansed, and we made an 8-day Feast of Dedication out of it. Okay?
Can you repeat that?
1 Maccabees 1:54 through 64, and then 1 Maccabees 4 and 54.
I got you.
All right. Y'all better have it in your notes from last week, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We have it in our notes. Yep. I just don't have them.
Right. No, I know. God. It's always good. Just keep, man. I took the same notes over and over for years. I didn't mind, right? God. Just messing with y'all. 1 Maccabees 4:55.
1 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the Most High of heaven, who had given them good success.
Good.
And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise.
Now go to 2 Chronicles 7 and 7. So now, for all the people that say the Hanukkah is a Jewish Christmas, the Hanukkah is not in Leviticus 23, the Hanukkah is not sanctified by the Most High. All right, the Hanukkah we don't have to keep. Okay, we're going to put this to silence for once and for all. I mean, we already put it to silence, but, and you know, this is not a pride fest or nothing, but people will gainsay. All right, so let's put it to rest. 2 Chronicles 7 and 7.
2 Chronicles 7 and 7.
Would everybody have it? Say, Khan.
Khan.
Read that.
Yes. Verse 7. Moreover, Solomon Hallow the middle of the court.
Now this is the details of when Solomon was doing what? Building the first temple. Okay? Remember the temple was called Solomon's temple because he built the first one. Okay? Even when they rebuilt it after the Babylonians, they still referred to it as Solomon's temple. Okay? It wasn't the first temple that he originally built, but they still referred to it as Solomon's temple. And I think in Acts the 3rd chapter, it referred to the porch, the promenade going up into the temple as Solomon's porch. All right, so go ahead.
Moreover, Solomon hallowed the middle of the court that was before the house of the Lord. For there he offered burnt offerings and the fat of the peace offerings, because the brazen altar which Solomon had made was not able to receive the burnt offerings and the meat offerings and the fat.
Go ahead.
And also at the same time, Solomon kept the feast 7 days, and all Israel with him, a very great congregation from the entering in the Hamath unto the river of Egypt. And in the 8th day they made a solemn assembly, for they kept the dedication of the altar 7 days, and the feast 7 days.
And what?
And the feast 7 days.
There's your first feast of dedication right there. But what happened is Solomon didn't make it a year-to-year thing. The Maccabees, when they took the temple back from the Greeks, they just took what Solomon did and dedicated the altar to the Most High again and said, we're going to do this every year. Okay? And then we're going to add it to the feast days of the Hebrew calendar. Okay? So the feast of dedication was always there from the time of Solomon. It's just the Maccabees, being the priests, they came and they ordained it as a yearly feast day. Okay? So all these people talking that they don't know the scriptures. And I don't really do the pride thing back and forth. Most of the time I let Israel believe whatever the hell they want to believe. And I don't argue and debate with them. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times that's all they want to do is argue in your debate and try to see who's right instead of who's true. But this feast of dedication was already there. This was a feast that Solomon held for the opening of the temple. This was the original Hanukkah. Now look up dedication in the Hebrew. Somebody pull up dedication in the Hebrew. Now watch what it says.
So Solomon's original dedication, 7 days, Maccabees turned into 8 days.
No, read it again.
And in the 8th day they made a solemn assembly.
They did what?
Made a solemn assembly.
So he feasted for 7 days, and then on the 8th day he came together and had a solemn assembly. So it was this much oil, and it lasted for 8, which the Most High could have did that. Don't get me wrong, and that would have been a great thing. But they patterned it after Solomon, because when he finished building the temple, he had a feast for 7 days, and then on the 8th day he had a solemn assembly. Remember Leviticus 23? It calls our feast days solemn assemblies. So they just took it. Hanukkah is not a Jewish Christmas. The Maccabees just took what Solomon did and they made it into a yearly feast day. Which Solomon he had a feast celebrating the building of the temple. So all this nonsense from they don't know what they're talking about. Solomon was partying for 7 days after he built the temple. Then on the 8th day, he said, we're going to have a service. We're going to have a holy convocation. And the Maccabees did the same thing. By Shema Mashiach. Right, so read on.
Verse 10. And on the 23rd day of the 7th month, he sent the people away into their tents, glad and merry and in heart, for the goodness that the Lord, the Most High, had showed unto David and to Solomon and to Israel, his people.
Jump down to 14.
Verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves.
Shall what?
Shall humble themselves.
Go ahead.
And pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways.
And do what?
Turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
And will do what?
Heal their land.
He will heal their land. So, the Most High is saying what? We got to turn and call unto him and turn from our wicked ways. Come back to our true feast days and forsake these abominable feast days of America. Okay? That's what the Most High is letting us know. Repent and come back to these true laws, statutes, and commandments as it is written. Okay? Go from there to Daniel again. No. Go to 2 Maccabees 10.
One quick question. The only thing I'm unclear on, when he had the 7-day feast, 8th day of solemn assembly, but the first day was also Sabbath.
Yeah, because when we read, we're gonna read it. We're about to read it now. Matter of fact, when you read, the Maccabees also patterned the Feast of Dedication after the Feast of Tabernacles. So the Feast of Tabernacles, the first day and the 8th day, are holy convocations and Sabbaths and Shabbats.
But Solomon didn't do that in the original dedication.
It was just the last day that he did. But when the Maccabees did it, they also incorporated the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay. Right. Go to 2 Maccabees 10 and 1. Matter of fact, we're gonna read it now.
2 Maccabees 10 and 1.
Yeah. Oh, look up that. Get that word dedication.
It's in the Hebrew, it's Hanukkah.
Is what?
Hanukkah.
It's Chaanakah. See that? Right? How do you say dedication or Hanukkah in the ancient Paleo Hebrew? Chaanakah. Okay? So that was the original dedication right there. Okay? Right? Go to 2 Maccabees 10 and 1.
2 Maccabees chapter 10 verse 1. Now Maccabeus and his company, the Lord guiding them, recovered the temple and the city. But the altars which the heathen had built in the open street, and also the chapels, they pulled down. And having cleansed the temple, they made another altar.
They did what?
Made another altar.
Go ahead.
And striking stones, they took fire out of them and offered a sacrifice after 2 years, and set forth incense and lights and shewbread.
Go ahead.
When that was done, they fell flat down and besought the Lord that they might come no more into such troubles. But if they sinned any more against them, that he himself would chasten them with mercy, and that they might not be delivered unto the blasphemous and barbarous nations.
So what is it saying? That if they said, they knew that because of the punishment they was getting, the punishment they was getting was because they sinned against the Most High. But they said, if we sinned again, we'd rather the Most High punish us directly than to put us in the hand of Esau. Okay? He said, whether this blasphemous and barbarous nation, we rather the Most High just put his direct hand of judgment on us than to let us fall into the hand of our enemy. Okay? And we rather get punished by the Most High than Esau. Okay? Right, go ahead. Verse 5.
Verse 5. Now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple.
There it is again. The same day they profaned the temple. Go ahead.
On the very same day it was cleansed again.
Go ahead.
Even the 25th day of the same month, which is Caslev.
Which is the 9th month, the 25th day of the 9th month. So here they're reiterating again, the same day the temple was defiled, 1 Maccabees 4:54, the same day it was cleansed. Go ahead.
And they kept 8 days with gladness, as in the Feast of the Tabernacles.
As what?
As in the Feast of the Tabernacles.
So they patterned the Feast of Dedication after the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay? So the first day and the 8th day of Tabernacles were holy convocations and feast days. So it's the same thing for dedication. I know there was some confusion over the years whether Hanukkah is a Sabbath because it's not Leviticus 23. It's best to keep and hold those first and 8th days as Shabbats because he patterned it after the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay? Right, go ahead. So there was some confusion even some stuff I was looking up, but when you really look at it, they patterned it after tabernacles, so it's just best to keep it as a Shabbat. All right, the first and the 8th day. Okay? Right, go ahead, because you got some history from Josephus and other writings that said it was more of a festival as opposed to a Shabbat. But if it's patterned after tabernacles, then the first and 8th day of tabernacles are Shabbats. Okay? Right, so, and remember the Maccabees was the sons of the priests. And the priests dealt with the temple. So if they had a feast day that was set up and ordained through them, which are the priests, it would be safe to keep it as a Shabbat. Okay? Right, go ahead.
And they kept 8 days with gladness as in the Feast of the Tabernacles.
Good.
Remembering that not long afore they had held the Feast of Tabernacles, when as they wandered in the mountains and dens like beasts.
Good.
Therefore they bear branches and fair boughs and palms also, and sang psalms unto him.
Right, because remember on the tabernacles we got the branches and put them around, made booths out of them and put them around our booths. Right, go ahead.
And sang psalms unto him that had given them good success in cleansing his place.
Come on.
They ordained also by a common statute and decree.
See that they ordained by a common statute and decree. Go ahead.
That every year those days should be kept, the whole nation of Jews.
Right. That year, those days should be kept of the whole nation of the Jews. Okay? So the Maccabees, what are they doing now? They're making a feast day out of this time. Okay? They're making an official feast day. The dedication of the altar to the Most High is an actual feast day added to the Hebrew calendar. Okay? Right, go ahead.
And this was the end of Antiochus, called Epiphanes.
Right, this was the end of him because he was put to death after that. You can read 1 Maccabees 6, 12, and 13. Tells you about the death of Antiochus Epiphanes. 1 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12 and 13. Okay?
All right.
1 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12 and 13. Read that on your own about the death of Antiochus Epiphanes the fourth. Okay?
1 Maccabees 6.
6, 12 and 13.
12 and 13.
Yeah, y'all can read that on your own. Or read the whole 6th chapter. Go back to Daniel. Salakia. Yeah, go back to Daniel 11 now. All right, now, what we're going to do, we're going to read the commentary right along with it to show you verse by verse that is speaking about the prophecy of the Maccabees again. All right. All right, let's go to Daniel's 11 and 30.
30?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You done with that 30?
Yeah.
The book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 30. For the ships of Chittim shall come against him, therefore he shall be grieved, and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. So shall he do, he shall even return, and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant.
Now I was going to tell you what it's talking about. Check this out. Daniel's 11 and 30 in the Bible commentary. It says Cyprus here refers to Rome. When the Romans forced Antiochus to depart from Egypt, he unleashed his frustration on the holy covenant that is Israel. Wow. All right? Those who forsook the holy covenant refers to the apostate Jews, verse 32, who cooperated with Antiochus. All right, everybody write down 1 Maccabees Shalakia. It's going to answer itself. First Maccabees 1 and 11. Everybody write down First Maccabees 1 and 11 with Daniel 11 and 30. All right. Now read of Daniel's 11 and 30 again.
Book of Daniel, chapter 11, verse 30. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him.
The Shittim here represents the Romans, because Antiochus and the Greeks, remember, they had internal warfare with the Romans. So the Romans came against him when he was fighting against Ptolemy in Egypt, because he was trying to take Ptolemy's territory also. All right, they had infighting amongst the Greeks and the Romans, and the Romans came and they took him at Egypt also. There was a lot of internal warfare amongst Esau. Okay? Right, go ahead.
For the ships of Kittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and return.
Right, the Romans stopped him from fully conquering Egypt and taking it from Ptolemy. Right, go ahead.
And have indignation against the holy covenant.
So he says, since I couldn't fully conquer Egypt, I'm going to go get Israel. He came and took his anger out on Israel. It says, for the ships of Kittim shall come against him, the Romans will come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved. He was angry because he couldn't fully conquer Egypt. So what happened? He came to take his anger out on Israel. Since I couldn't get Egypt, I'm going to go get them Jews. Right? Go ahead.
So shall he do. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant.
The intelligence with them is the sellout Israelites that went along with him to fight against their own people. Okay? Yeah. That's First Maccabees 1:11. In those days there went out wicked men amongst Israel that said, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. That's the intelligence that he had. Right? He had spies. Right? Sambo Coon Negroes that was working with him against their own people. Daniel's 11:31.
And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
All right, Daniel's 11:31. Defile the sanctuary. Antiochus polluted the altar by offering a pig upon it. Everybody's write down 2 Maccabees 6, 1-6. Because I tell you, they put swine's flesh on the altar. 2 Maccabees 6, 1-6. Daniel 11:31 in the commentary again. Defiled the sanctuary. Antiochus polluted the altar by offering a pig upon it. He declared the daily sacrifice and other Mosaic ceremonies illegal, and committed an abomination of desolation by erecting an image of Zeus in the holy place. H.O.I said a familiar thing would happen just prior to his return. See Matthew 24:15. Okay? So remember, we read about that abomination of desolation. Eventually, Antiochus did come in and invade the land. He took the temple and defiled it. You can read that in 2 Maccabees 6. Okay? That's the verse I gave y'all. Go to Daniel's 11:32 now. We'll read 31 again.
Daniel's 11:31 again. And arms shall stand on his part.
Meaning wicked Israelites rose up and fought with him against their own people. Good.
And they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength.
Right, they set up swine's flesh and erected a statue of Zeus in the temple. Good.
And shall take away the daily sacrifice.
And they took away the daily sacrifice. Because what? Israel was given a sacrificial law. All right, write down Leviticus chapters 1-10. That's what the Most High gave us, the sacrificial law. Leviticus chapters 1-10. All right, it gives you all the different sacrifices that the Most High gave Israel. Okay? All right.
Leviticus what, Elder?
1-10.
1-10, okay.
Chapters 1-10.
Chapter for the Lord.
Not chapter 1, verse 10. Chapters 1-10. All 10 chapters.
Oh, 1-10, okay.
Yeah, chapters 1-10. That's what the Most High gave us, the sacrificial laws. All those 10 chapters.
Yeah.
All right, read on.
and shall take away the daily
And
sacrifice.
they took away the daily sacrifice. Remember, from the time of Abraham, we had the morning and evening sacrifice. Well, we kept the daily sacrifice to the Most High to keep the Spirit with us. Right, go ahead.
And they shall place.
So like if I'm going a little fast, y'all can always go back to the video and rewind. Right, go ahead.
And they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
Yeah, they erected a statue of Zeus, man. Right, they wicked Greek god up in the temple. Okay? Right, so go to read on in 32. Daniel's 11:32.
Daniel's chapter 11, verse 32. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits.
All right, look up exploits. All right, Daniel's 11:32 in the commentary. The people who know their power shall be strong. Matthias, father of the 5 sons, refused to offer sacrifices in a profane manner and killed the king's agent. He and his sons then fled to the mountains and began the famous Maccabean revolt. So Daniel's 11 is prophesying about the Maccabean revolt. Go to 1 Maccabees 2:1. Stop playing, man. Stop playing. Hanukkah is a Jewish Christmas. You do error not knowing the scriptures or the power of Yahweh. Stop it. And I'm going lightweight, not to boast or brag. I'm going lightweight with the history. Okay?
Right.
I'm just showing this is baby stuff in the scriptures. You can just read a couple of scriptures in the commentary. Bow. You know what I'm saying? Don't go all the way fully into the history of the Maccabees, fully into the history of the Greeks. Because what? This history is backed up by scholars in world history. This history is really there in Esau's libraries and archaeology. His records. Okay? So Hanukkah is not a Jewish Christmas. It's a historical event that the Most High said would take place through the prophets, and it would be made into a feast day. Okay? This is history here. Right? Read that. 1 Maccabees 2:1.
First Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 1. And it reads, In those days arose Matthias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Joab, from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Jonanan called Caddis, Simon called Thasai, Judas who was called Maccabeus. Verse 5, Eleazar called Abarin, and Jonathan whose surname was Athas.
All right, 1 Maccabees 2:1-5. I'm going to go back to Daniel's 11:32 in the biblical commentary. The people who know their God shall be strong. Matthias, father of 5 sons, refuses to offer sacrifice in a profane manner and killed the king's agent. And he and his sons then fled to the mountains and began the famous Maccabean revolt. Jump down to 1 Maccabees 2:19.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 verse 19. Then Matthias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away, every one from the religion of their fathers, had give consent to his commandments. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. Most High forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words, to go from our religion either on the right hand or the left. Now, when he had left speaking these words, here came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. which thing that when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Right, so I'm going to read it again. The people who know their God shall be strong. Mattathias, father of 5 sons, refused to offer sacrifices in a profane manner and killed the king's agent. That's what we're reading right here in 1 Maccabees 2:24. Okay? It says, which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Right? No, and the next verse. Read 25.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner.
That's the king's agent. Come on.
Who compelled...
He killed that sellout Negro Jew first. Then he killed the king's agent. Go ahead.
Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice. He killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down.
Go ahead.
Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phanes did unto Zambri, the son of Salem. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Go ahead.
So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
So I'm going to read it one more time. Matthias, father of the 5 sons, refused to offer sacrifices in a profane manner and killed the king's agent Salakia. He and his sons then fled to the mountains and began the famous Maccabean revolt. That's what we just read in 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verses 19 through 30, through 29, Salakia. Okay? It said here it says wilderness, but it says they fled into the mountains to start the Maccabean revolt. Okay? Can't get around that, right? Daniel's 11:33 now.
Book of Daniel's 11, chapter 11, verse 33. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity, by spoil many days.
Right, I'm going to read the commentary, Daniel's 11:33 in the biblical commentary. Many devoted Jews were killed in the Maccabean revolt. All right, see Hebrews 11:37 and 38. All right, we don't have to get it, but Hebrews 11:37 and 38, because Hebrews 11:30, Hebrews the 11th chapter, it talks about different acts of faith of Israel throughout history. And it also goes into the Maccabees. So even in the New Testament, the Maccabees is written about. So much for your Jewish Christmas. Get out of here. They don't understand the scriptures, man. They don't know the scriptures. All right, read on. 34. Daniel's 11:34.
Daniel's 11, chapter 11, verse 34. Now, when they shall fall, they shall be holpen with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries.
First, Daniel 11:34 in the commentary. As some Jews were killed in the Maccabean revolt, others provided a little help. Many joined by intrigue, that is insincerely. Everybody jumps on for the hype. Like Kyrie and Kanye. Right. All of a sudden people came out of the woodwork and wanted to be affiliated with Israel now. Same thing. They're not sincere. Right? They just running with the hype. Right, Khan? Same thing. 11:35.
And some of them understanding shall fall, to try them and to purge and to make them white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for a time appointed.
11:35 in the commentary. Some of those of understanding refers to those who understand the Most High's word and were allowed to go through troubled times so they could be refined and purified. Okay? Remember, and it says that refining and purifying what? It ended up to cleansing the sanctuary and the temple. Okay? So it's all documentary and prophesied in the history. You can't get around it, okay? So for you to say, oh, you just making up, no. All right, the Feast of Dedication, you got to go in these scriptures, man, and find out and pull it up out of there. But it's there. Okay? So this is not a Jewish Christmas we're trying to make up. This is a real, actual feast that was actually prophesied before the Most High decreed it through the Maccabees to actually be a feast. And it was also done during the time of Solomon dedicating the temple. Okay? So you can't get around it. So if you can't see that, then I guess you're not going to see it. Okay? Now, cap it off. St. John 10:22.
Right.
When H.O.I kept the Feast of Dedication. So if you can't see it, then I guess just look at it as a Jewish Christmas and don't celebrate it. Go in your little over-righteous Hebrew corner and that'll be that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
You just trying to be like Christmas. Okay. You do ever not knowing the scriptures or the power of the Most High Yahweh. Okay? Right. Cap it off. St. John 10:22, 23. They can't see it, is on them.
The book of, oh, you want me to read?
Yeah.
The book of St. John, chapter 10, verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem the feast of the dedication, and it was winter. And H.O.I walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt?
So like it started 22 again.
Verse 22, and it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter.
And it was what?
And it was winter.
What is the Feast of Dedication? Hanukkah. When you go into Greek, and because the New Testament, they're going to have the Greek and the blue letter. It's the same thing, Chaanakah. All right, go ahead.
And H.O.I walked into the temple in Solomon's porch.
Right there's Solomon's porch again. He walked in the temple. Go ahead.
And then came the Jews round about him.
And of course, they start asking him questions, and he start teaching them, cutting some of them, teaching them, and bringing out the word at the Feast of Dedication at the Hanukkah. Okay? By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Can't get around it. Kwam Yashala.
Just one quick point of clarification. When they defiled the temple and then it was dedicated once again on the same day, was that 2 or 3 years?
I mean, some of the scholars say 2. They say circa 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so it's either.
It's like it's either or. You know what I'm saying? But in Second Maccabees it said 2 years, but then in First Maccabees, when it speaks about it, it gives the 145th year, but then it gives the 148th year. So that's 3 years.
Right.
But then in Second Maccabees 10 it says 2 years. So either or. You know what I'm saying? Circa 2 or 3 years. Okay? That's how I usually just bring it out, you know.
Okay.
Circa 2 or 3 years. All right? But it was still the same day.
Right.
Okay?
Gotcha.
But that's what I noticed. I've tried to look deeper into it, but nothing else comes up.
Right.
Okay? Right. So, but it does tell you it's the same day, the 5 and 20th day.
Right.
You know how Jake be like, it was 87 or 88. It was one of them. But it was the same time of year.
Right.
Good? Right? So, that's all. It's like probably a clerical error. All right, so that's it. Any more questions or comments? All right. Anybody will bring out anything? No?
Just to reiterate what you just said so I can write it down. You said in Second Maccabees it was 2 years?
Let me see. No, they both in First.
Oh, okay, in First Maccabees.
Yeah, First Maccabees. First Maccabees 1. 54.
154 is 2 years?
The 15th day of the second month cast through in the 145th year. Okay. Now when you go to First Maccabees, let me see. 52, First Maccabees 4:52. Now on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month cast through, in the 148th year.
Gotcha.
So we know 8 minus 5 is 3. Right. But now in 2 Maccabees 10, all right, and let me see. Now upon the same day that the strangers profaned the temple, on the very same day it was cleansed again, even a 5 and 20th day of the same month, which is Caslu. Verse 3, and having cleansed the temple, they made another altar, and striking stones, they took fire out of them and offered a sacrifice after 2 years. Gotcha. You see that? That's 2 Maccabees 10 and 3.
Gotcha. Okay, I got it.
All right? So you got it?
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Right. So, you know, it could be many reasons for that. Like I said, I've tried to like look deeper into it, but nothing really comes up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Bible contradicts itself. Nah, but you know, it's either or. You know what I'm saying? Or it could just be worded that way. The verse 3 in 2 Maccabees 10, that just could be talking about something else. Like they just offered a sacrifice after 2 years, you know, but it was actually 3, you know? I don't know. Okay.
But it's not the case that they could have did some sort of sacrifice, offering some sort of sacrifice before it was actually cleansed a year later.
Right. That could be it. That could be it too. That could be it too. Yeah. Okay. That could, because a lot of times, they were still offering sacrifices to the Most High as they were fighting.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So it could be in a different type of sacrifice, but then after the 3rd year, it was the actual sacrifice on the altar. I thought about that too. That makes sense also. Right. You know what I'm saying? That verse 3 could just be talking about a different type of sacrifice. Right. But after the 3rd year, it was actually the sacrifice on the altar.
But so if it was talking about a different type of sacrifice in the second
No, you like for example, in Esther, right? No, in Ezra, right? It tells you about before the temple was cleansed, we was offering sacrifices on the altar.
Right.
Before the temple was built, Chaanakah, after the Babylonians, so we were already offering sacrifice on makeshift altars.
Okay, makeshift.
But not in the actual temple.
Right, God, that was
so that could be that could possibly be it also. Yeah, you know, it could just be worded that way, because as they were fighting, they were still trying to sacrifice to the Most High.
Of course.
But in the temple, the actual temple, when they cleansed it, that's when they made the Feast of Dedication. So it could mean that also. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Karen? Any more questions or comments?
What's the month Dios Corinthians? What month is that?
Huh?
Dios Corinthians?
Dios Corinthians.
It's in
that's Latin.
Second Maccabees 11 and 21.
Let me see. I know Dios is 2.
Right. $11 and 21?
Yeah.
No, we can look it up.
I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, we can look it up. I'll look it up in the You couldn't find it where you said?
In the blue letter.
No, you ain't. That's not gonna be in the blue letter. That's not gonna. I'll look it up. I know where to look it up at. All right, but yeah, I'll look it up, because I don't want to just say what I think it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right? I know my little bit of Spanish, Latin, whatever. Right? Anything else, Hakim? Any other questions or comments? That's it. All right, so Ashar Chaanakah 2022. Happy Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah 2022. This is indeed our feast day. Don't let nobody say it's not. You know, it's not a Jewish Christmas. The history is there, and this is on a lightweight side. You know what I'm saying? It can go deeper. Okay? But this is basic. This is a basic way you can bring it out that is it can be disputed. Kind of is right there in your face in the scriptures, plain as day. Okay? All right, so we're going to get ready to pray out. Salakia, I'll tell everybody when to rise. Matter of fact, Salakia, let me do something real quick. We'll be back, Ashar. Salakia, let me put this stuff on. We got no women here tonight. Oh. I got it though. Y'all can chat amongst each other for a minute.
That's good. Already. Hey, in the book of Esther, chapter 8,
Esther?
Yeah. When all of the country have to take on the custom of the Jews, I mean they took on like keeping the commandments too, or that's something that the Christian scoffers be trying to come at.
That everybody in the country had to take on the characteristics of the Jews? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that.
It's a lot of that.
What is that, Esther 8 and what?
17.
17? All right, I'll look at that.
But since everything else.
And which country are you referring to? Greece?
Yeah, from Persia all the way to India.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean Persian Mede Empire?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it says they became Jews.
Right.
Now that's kind of interesting because you can't convert to the nationality. So what do they mean by that? I mean, okay, the king decreed it. There has to be the custom.
I mean, they started taking on our customs.
That's right. It has to be the customs.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right. So that's
They didn't
right.
become Israelites by
By birthright. Right. It has to be the
birthright.
customs. Yeah. Okay.
It was the customs.
Right. Right. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking.
Right. Right.
Because we got these Christian scoffers that try to pull that.
Oh, sorry, wrong answer.
No, but that's an easy cut.
No, for sure. Because once you can prove it's birthright or nationality or ethnicity, that's easy. Because if not, we're going to convert to being Chinese tomorrow. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
And some folks call themselves Hebrew. Hebrew is a language.
Right.
I'm a Hebrew. I'm an Israelite. Israelite is a nationality. I'm a Hebrew. They call themselves Hebrew.
It's like saying I'm a Swahili.
It's in
You know,
Hebrew.
like, because several countries speak Swahili. That's like, there's several nations that can speak Hebrew, but that don't make it
Cause
Israel.
they were like, oh boy, like, I'm a Hebrew. That's my nationality, huh?
Well,
I said Hebrew is a language.
He needs to read more and understand better. Right. You're 100% correct. Right.
We say Hebrew Israelite, but we know Hebrew is
The language.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, language and Israelite is nationality.
Right.
There one dude say he speak Swahili out there around. I was like, what the hell? I said, I don't understand none of you talking about. I know Paleo Hebrew. I don't know that Swahili, man, because we speak Swahili. No, the hell we don't.
And see, now the thing about Swahili is the language made up of several different countries so they can communicate with one another. But one of those languages that comprises Swahili is Arabic. It's not even African. So, you know, that kind of thing.
Because he says, I said, I don't understand none of you say. Because you're speaking in Swahili, I said, I don't understand none of you say.
Jumbo. Hello. Yeah. Jumbo. Okay.
Because that's our language. I said, no, that ain't our language.
And see, now that's not even the language of all of Africa, although the AU, the African Union, just made a decree that they're going to make it the universal language of the continent, right? Even though if I'm in West Africa, Central Africa, Southern Africa, that's only an East African dialect or language made up of several different East African languages, but also Arabic, which is not even African. So it's a little shaky there, you know, that kind of thing. Right. But that's all. He heard that, and you know, so he ran with it. That's all that is.
So we speak Swahili. All right, huh?
But you tell him Paleo Hebrew because he don't even know who he is or what his language was before his people were forced.
I was going to ask him what it was. He was like, we speak Swahili. That's
Well,
all.
then ask him, did they speak Swahili in West Africa 500 years ago when they took your people out of
He
West
like a
Africa?
security guard. I don't
That's
think he up there no
ridiculous.
more.
That's
I don't
ridiculous.
think
No
he
one
up
was speaking Swahili in West Africa at that time. That's ridiculous. Unless you came up out of there and went into the Arab slave trade, into those lands, you might have been exposed to it as a slave. But then those people didn't survive because they castrated every single male and they killed off most of their slaves. So
I said, I don't understand no Swahili. I understand Hebrew.
Right,
Paleo
right,
Hebrew.
right.
None of that Swahili, man.
Right.
I said Paleo Hebrew is all language. I don't know about no Swahili.
He don't either.
He just saying,
Right, he don't either. You ask him about the history of Swahili, he won't even know about it. Or when his people came into contact with it, because that was last week when he.
Man, what you talking about, Willie?
Right. Unbelievable.
I had to check the Edomite. I went around. It was like a while back. I was coming, I said, yeah, the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American, we Israelites. It was the Ku Klux Klan standing up in there. And he come in the hour, they come out. White power. I said, nobody don't give a crap about that white power. That's white power. He come out, black power, brown power. I said, man, you better go on with
I don't
this.
know what the hell he talking
Well,
about.
He want to fight.
He like Dave Chappelle. White power.
He want to fight. That's what he want to do.
He want to fight.
He had a fight already up in around. They were like, he already had a fight in her. I said, well, he's not mad. He better get away from me.
Yeah, he's just trying to provoke a response.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all that is.
And a lot of times they don't want to fight; they just want to provoke you.
Right.
You know, Esau would take a behind whooping just to get you off your square.
Or it could be an agent to take a behind whipping to besmirch your fire agent.
But yo, he punched me. Yeah,
Right.
like, yo, but you started it.
Well, I ain't do nothing. That guy, I ain't like, nobody don't come out no white power.
Thank you, man.
Okay, yeah.
We were like, we don't come out no white power. He come out, forget black power and brown power. I said, I ain't now one of them Israelites, so you can say whatever you want to say. Then the security came and go, "Hey, don't fight up, they already had one with him." I was like, "He came to me. I ain't finna go up there, bow."
The best thing in this time is to only fight defensively. You know, unless somebody.
He ain't put a hand on me, so I'm not worried about.
But you don't want to attack them.
Yeah, you want to defend yourself.
He ain't put a hand on me, so I was like, I ain't worried about what you say. Let's do it. Let's don't come in my face and put no hand on me.
What's the scripture? Treat everybody peacefully, or relate with them peacefully.
Be at peace with all men.
Right. What is that?
There's a few of them, but they're worded differently.
Right.
Yeah. You ready, Ot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We trying to pray out so we can.
Is this your Bible?
Yeah.
So what you use the telescope to look? I mean, microscope. You use the microscope to look at these words. Oh, wait a minute.
Is that little?
Yes, it's small.
All right. Imagine what Panya Yerushalayim. Stand and face Jerusalem for closing prayer. Hallelujah.
Right.
All right. Hallelujah.
This way, right?
Yeah. Hallelujah.
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 Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem.
Hashem.
Hamashiach.
Mashiach.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Barak Noah.
Barak Noah.
Vaishala.
Vaishala.
Wahabiyah Sapaya.
Sapaya.
Shema.
Shema.
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Alahayanawa.
Ayahayanawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Achad. Shema.
Shema.
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Alahayanawa.
Ayahayanawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Achad. Shema.
Shema.
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Alahayanawa.
Ayahayanawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Achad. Shema.
Shema.
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Alahayanawa.
Ayahayanawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. Deuteronomy 6:4. Credo of Israel. Hallelujah.
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 Come in, Shalom.
Come in, Shalom.
All right. Girls, come up. Better just take a step back so I can anoint them. No, come on, stay up here. Come back up. I gotta get anointed. Oh. I did it so quick. Have to get my baby. My baby. Put it back, baby. Oh, there we go. All right. Come up, come closer. All right, anointed prayer. Number 6, 22 to 27. As I pray, we go right to left. Say your name 3 times. I repeat it. Get your blessing. Ask the Most High to make y'all better daughters, sisters, friends, young ladies in this truth. As I'm praying over y'all meditate and get y'all blessing. Number 6, 22 to 27 in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. I pray, y'all meditate as I pray. And we repeat the names. Yabaraki Yahweh, Waishamarka, Ya'al Yahweh, Punyawa, Al Yaka, Wayakanka, Yasha'al Yahweh, Punyawa, Al Yaka, Wayashamlaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Babakusha, Shemai, Nawa, Aita, Shalak, Ma'ikala, Walahayim, La, Shema Ayo, Barak, Rapah, Aizah, Magun, Kazak, Hatazayal, Kwawa, Zamora, Raylan, Zara, Zanai, 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 Zakara, 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 Kol Akyum, Kol Akwafyum, Kol Bunyum, Yasha'ala, Bahashim, Hamashiach, Yahawashai, the Wada, the Yad, Awalam, Amen. Hallelujah. 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 All right, sisters, be seated. Akim, come up. Anointed. Trying to say I'm short, brother. Lean up some. No, lean up. Oh, sorry, don't smell it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, our brothers can just make a line right here. Start with Kazakh and we go across. Right. All right. Saying, y'all know the routine, Akim. Anointing prayer. This is a time to ask the Most High for strength, wisdom, knowledge, understanding, blessings, patience. You know, we all going through stuff, you know, hard out here for a Black, Latino, and Native American man. You know what I'm saying? Something always working against you. So now is the time to meditate, man. Anything you might be going through, any struggles, financial, family problems, spouse, you know, job, health, whatever. Meditate on it now. Ask the Most High to help you with it. Kind? All right. Same thing. We say the anointing prayer. We go right to left. Kazakh all the way to Rob Judah. Say your name 3 times. I repeat it. And you receive your blessing. And I need y'all to stay still. Hello. Stay still and no noise. We're still in prayer mode. All right. Salakia. Anointing prayer, ancient Paleo Hebrew, Numbers 6:22-27. I say it. When I finish, get to Kazakh. Repeat your name 3 times down the line. Hallelujah. Yabaraki Yahweh, wa Chaanakah, Ya'al Yahweh, Pan Yahweh, Al Yakah, wa Chaanakah, Yashar Yahweh, Pan Yahweh, Al Yakah, wa Chaanakah, Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh, Bobukusha, Shemai, Nawa, Aita, Shalak, Ma'ika'ala, Walahayim, La, Shema'ayo, Barak, Rapah, Aizah, Magun, Kazakh, Hatazayal, Kwawa, Kazakh, your guy, Rashad, Yahawada, Tariq, Rob Judah, Zabak, Kol, Akim, Kol, Akbafim, Kol, Bunyum, Yasha'ala, Bobukusha, Bahashim, Hamashiach, Yahawashah, the Wada, the Yad, Awalam, Hallelujah. Salakia Akim, you know, brother just lost his pops. I'll give a brother a little extra anointing. Salakia Akim. All the brothers repeat after me. Yabaraki Yahweh, Yahweh Chaanakah, Yah Yahweh, Panyawa, Ayaka, Wayakanka, Yashar Yahweh, Panyawa, Ayaka, Wayashamnaka, Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Okushah, Shema, Nawa, Aita, Shalak, Maikala, Walahayim, La, Shema'ayo, Barak, Rapal, Izar, Magun, Kazak, Taziyah, Kwawa, Tariq, Barak, Tariq, Rapal, Tariq, Izar, Tariq, Hataziyah, Tariq, Babakushah, Barak, Mashapak, Tariq, Wa, Shabbatah, Tariq, Babakushah, Barak, Kol, Mashapak, Wa, Shabbatah, Masharik, Babakushah, Barak, Tariq, Izar, Hataziyah, Kwawa, Barak, Hamashiach, Salakia, Mashapat, Wa, Shabbatah, Ma, Tariq, Babakushah, Ba'ashim, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, Yah, Abalom, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Everybody rise. Once again, let's pray for the food and the drink. Hallelujah.
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 Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem.
Hashem.
Mashiach. Yahushai. Okushah. Barak. Ma'akol. Wa. Shaddai. Wa. Yayan. Wa. Kazak. Shaddai. Babakushah. Barak. Nawa. Kag. Chaanakah, Babakushah, Barak, Nawa, Kol, Kagim, Mayasha'ala, Wa, Barak, Nawa, Kag, Chaanakah, Babakushah, Ba'ashim, Hamashiach, Yahushai, the water, the Yah, Awalam. Amen. Blessed O Most High Yahweh B'Ashem Mashiach Yahushai, please bless our Feast of Dedication meal, Most High. Bless our food and drink for the Feast of Dedication and for all of our feast days, Lord. Thank you for blessing us to come together. Thank you for letting us, everyone, get here safe and sound to close out our Feast of Dedication, our Hanukkah for 2022. B'Ashem Mashiach Yahushai, let us dwell in safety. Let us enjoy our feast, Most High. The water, the Myan, Avalam. Amen. Hallelujah. 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 Come inshallah. Ashar. Chaanakah. Happy Feast of Dedication closing. Come inshallah. Eat, drink, and be merry.
There you go. Each side. Makes it really cool.
Shalom, inshallah. Hope y'all enjoyed the lesson. Y'all learned one thing. We've done our job. Come inshallah. Ashar Chaanakah. Shalom. Happy Hanukkah Feast of Dedication 2022 from H.O.I. Los Angeles. Shalom.
Yeah, thank you. Very good. And, I got it for the notes.
Yeah.